recurring around the comparison between the Madlanga Commission and the Zondo Commission. Of course, there are distinct differences between the two, but I am interested in why some people feel that the Zondo Commission failed, even though we do have cases in court, and why some people feel the Madlanga Commission is doing better. So I want to hear your thoughts. That's the open line. Get in touch with us. The number to dial is 011 883 0702. And then it's the Friday edition of the show. So we've got Across the Desk. And today we've got a small business feature. We take a look and we talk to people in the jewelry space, someone in the fine jewelry space who's doing great things, and someone else who has turned her passion for candles into a successful business. That's Khomotso Moloi, who is in the jewelry space, and Kamogelo Pago, who is in the candle space. I'm looking forward to speaking to them a little later on in the show. And then, of course, it's Friday, so we have our relationship feature. And our focus today is around effectively apologizing in a relationship. How do you go about apologizing in the best way? And how have you found the different ways of apologizing have fared in your relationship? That's on the show this morning. On the team today, we've got Abel, who is our technical producer. Zintle and Snazo are taking your calls. And Amuramela is on the traffic. Sfiso Zulu has your news. Get in touch with us. The number to dial is 011 883 0702 072 702 1702. On X, my handle is at @Motso_Mudise.
702.
Let's walk the talk on 92.7
and 106 FM.
The open line is brought to you by Truecaller. Trust the real ones on 702. Good morning. Thank you so much for tuning in for the Friday edition of the Clement Manyathela Show. It has been quite the week. Thank you so much for staying with us throughout the week. I've been in for Clem this week, and many of you have been so good. I love your interactions. I love your voice notes, your calls, your questions, your comments. Thank you so much for all of that. And we continue to do it today on the Friday edition of the show. But I want to start with a bit of gratitude. It is Gratitude Friday. So, yeah, what are you grateful for? I think there's a lot that we can be grateful for. And maybe I should start. I was saying to my colleagues this morning that I am grateful for being busy, for having things keeping me busy. Because I know how it feels not to be busy, to be looking for things to do. I'm grateful for having places to be, things to do, whether it is work, whether it is some tasks that I've lined up for myself. I'm just grateful for that. And I'm grateful for having the ability to actually do those things. There's nothing worse than having the heart that wants to do things, that, yearns to take part in certain things, but just not having the ability, whether it's the physical ability, whether it's the financial ability. So I'm really grateful for that. I'm grateful that I am busy, I have things to do, I am being kept busy, whether it's by family, whether it's by friends, whether it's by being here at work. And I'm grateful that I'm able to meet my obligations and to show up where it is necessary. What are you grateful for today? I'm taking your calls and your voice notes. It's amazing whenever when we give thanks, when we show gratitude, because then I think we realize that things aren't as bad as we think they are. They are not so bad. So get in touch with me on that. Of course, something else that's been, keeping my attention is what's happening in Durban, where we saw the developments with the foreign nationals. I think it's great that that story is moving now. Yesterday, Home Affairs arrived there, and they've been doing their work, which is important. They've been verifying the documents that have been presented by the foreign nationals that have been camping outside the police station there. I know that they went through about 400 of those yesterday, and they found, I think, 2 who were in the country illegally, and they are being dealt with legally as well, which is great. So that's a story that's been keeping our attention throughout the week, and I think it's good now that things seem to be de-escalating. The people have been moved to a refugee facility there, and the work of the officials is continuing there, which is important. So that's a story that's been keeping my attention quite a bit as well throughout the week, and I know that many of us have been paying attention to what's going on there in Durban. There's a story in the Mail and Guardian, which I found to be interesting. It is around the Madlanga's swift brand of justice. So the Madlanga Commission has been doing its work since October last year. And of course, there's been comparison between the commission, the Madlanga Commission, and the Zondo Commission. And you expect that, right? You expect the comparison. And I'm sure that many of us already were looking at what's being done in Madlanga that should have been done in the Zondo Commission. But there is a sentiment that many people have that the Zondo Commission may have failed, right? In fact, I've seen people saying the Zondo Commission would never, right? And the Madlanga Commission is doing far better. Here's some of my thoughts. I do think that the Zondo Commission laid the foundation for the Madlanga Commission and a number of other commissions that we are likely to have around what to do and what not to do. For example, the Madlanga Commission has this special task team, so this police unit that is doing investigations in real time. So while there are testimonies, even before it's been wrapped up, there's a task team doing investigations, which is great, because then we hope that it will expedite the process and get people behind bars sooner, which is great. I also think that what happened in the Zondo Commission is that a lot of the crimes were financial crimes. And of course, they require a lot more investigative muscle. And that's what the NPA was meant to be doing. And that's when they set up IDAC, which has been leading the prosecutions. I think it's also good that we are seeing arrests currently in real time that are linked to the Madlanga Commission. But I must highlight the fact that the arrests that are being done in the of people that have been mentioned in the Madlanga Commission, apart from the arrest of Matipandile Soteni, who's been linked to the murder of Marius van der Merwe, none of the arrests are based on the evidence that's been heard in the commission. That's important to highlight. So Vaninkosi has been arrested, but it's not linked to what he's testified about in the commission. Julius Mkhwanazi has been arrested, but it's not linked to what he's testified about in the commission. So the arrests are being done for other crimes that they have been linked to. And when I asked the police's Athlenda Mate about this, she said that it's because people are now coming forward because they see this task team as an opportunity to, cough out, say the things that they've always known, to speak out. And they feel that this task team would be able to actually do the work that other police may not be able to. So I think that's great. That's the plus of the Madlanga Commission, where there's a renewed hope, restored hope in the justice system, and the fact that something will be done through this task team. I do think that with the Zondo Commission, we cannot ignore the fact that there are people currently being tried for it. There are at least 2 cases that I'm aware of that are in court, but I'm sure there are more. We've got the Anuj Singh matter that's currently in court, the Transnet matter with Brian Molefe. We've got Angelo Grizzi, who's also in court. And of course, we've got the conviction of Vincent Smith. So that's all from the Zondo Commission. And then, of course, there's the recovery of the money that President Ramaphosa keeps speaking about quite a bit as well. So that's where we are with the 2 commissions. However, if you are of the view that the Madlanga Commission is doing better or has done better, I want to hear from you, and I want to hear your thoughts and your sentiments on that. If you believe that the Zondo Commission failed, I want to hear why you believe that and what failures in particular do you feel have happened there in the Zondo Commission. I do think that the Zondo Commission walked so that the Madlanga Commission can run, but that's my view on this. I want to hear from you, 011-883-0702. Someone here in the WhatsApp saying, KG, on the subject of juxtaposing the 2 commissions, an obvious observation is this. Zondo dealt with the state capture involving influential, politically protected, high-ranking political elite. Madlanga, on the other hand, deals with ordinary and politically dispensable officials, despite the high ranks of some of the subjects of investigation. And that's from Kumbu in Rudaport. Thank you so much for that. And I think it's an important distinction to draw because it would be tougher to hold your high-ranking politicians accountable. There's been such a pushback in implementing the recommendations of the Zondo Commission. And to be fair, yes, the Zondo Commission had made those recommendations, but they don't do the prosecution. It's the NPA that must carry out the prosecution. It's the NPA that must further investigate, the police that must further investigate and work with the NPA. And so, to be honest, that there has seemed to be a pushback in the Zondo Commission recommendations being implemented. And it seems as though the Madlanga Commission, for now, there seems to be greater will to get people behind bars. Of course, we have to wait and see because none of them have been prosecuted for the crimes that have been testified at the commission. But also, most importantly, there hasn't been the start of a trial yet. So we do have to wait and see. But thank you so much for drawing that distinction. I do see some of your voice notes coming in. So let's take one of those.
sekusele kancane i-pirates izodliwa. Hi, this is Kabelo from Primville. Thank you. Have a fabulous weekend.
I-Pirates izodliwa. Hey, Kabelo, don't do that. Ngoba siyabuya la on Monday and we'll have big cases to answer to. Of course, it's a big sporting weekend. All eyes on Pirates, Amapagapaga this weekend. Hey, you know what? I don't want to talk too much about that, right? Because yeah, a part of me does want them to win, man. I do want them to win. It's been what, 11 years? Has it been 11 years? 12 years? Yeah, bring an end to the drought. I am a Kosi fan, so of course that must not be forgotten. I'm wearing yellow today, in fact. Wabo, so I'm wearing yellow. If you can check on the YouTube live stream, you'll see me there in my yellow to assert the fact that Gilu Kosi for life. But I know how important this is for Pirates. So good luck to Amapagapaga this weekend.
Good morning, Komoto, and good morning to the 702 land. It's Goliath Kasit. Can you please, Komoto, try to find something? Yes, we have a problem. Tomorrow it's a big day. The champions are finalizing everything. They are taking the cup in Bombela. But now there's a little bit of a problem here. Open ticket. We bought, a lot of people are complaining. I'm part of those people. We bought tickets here via the online system, open ticket, and then we purchased, we paid the money went out from our account, but we never received the email with the tickets, I mean. So now we're busy sending emails, they are not replying on our emails. We're busy calling, they are not saying anything, they are not replying our calls. So we have a problem. We don't know now what we need to do. Tomorrow it's a big day. We need to go and take our cup there. We need to be there when we were crowned as champions. But now we have a big problem. We are not getting our ticket. Open ticket is not saying anything. Can you just please, if it's possible, try to find out maybe based on 702 land, maybe someone can assist us. We are really in a problem here. We don't know whether to prepare tomorrow to go or what, because they are not replying on our emails. Please, please, please. Thank you.
Hmm. Okay, I'm looking at the ladies, Uzindle and Snazo, our producers, to see if they can try help us with that. Open Tickets. If someone from Open Tickets is listening, please maybe give us a call and maybe address. I'm sure this is not the only person that might be experiencing this. And this happens a lot with the sale of tickets as well during big fixtures. So I'm hoping that we'll be able to sort that out. I would hate for you to miss such. So the producers are saying they're going to try get in touch with them and hear what they have to say. Hopefully we'll have a reply for you before the end of the show.
Hi, Khumutso. Good morning. It's Israeli Kugazo. Yeah, Khumutso, I'm just grateful for life in J, for just in J life. Yeah, that's my last day today. I'm going on leave for the next 3 weeks. I'll be home, lazing around, like Clement. I'm sure maybe Clement is more busier than I am when in his off days. But yeah, I'll be home lazing around, Khumutso. Yeah, I'm just very grateful for life in here, and I'm gonna have a great days on my leaves as well. So yeah, all right, a great show as always, Komo. So you had a fantastic week, I must say. I agree with you. I mean, this week, you held this show very, very brilliantly and successfully. I wish you all the best, Komo. And we could just in the weekend. Have a great one. Cheers, bye.
Hi, Khomozo. You're speaking to Maggie. You know what I'm grateful for? I'm grateful that I have a job, even though I'm still working as a domestic worker. But I am grateful that I have that because most people don't have that. And I'm grateful that I am finally doing my final year of LLB while working as a domestic worker. And you know what? I'm grateful for all of those things. I am grateful for my husband, my children. I am grateful for life in general. And I am grateful that out of everything that I do, all the things that I have to do, I still get time to do my hobbies as well.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. I love that for you. Oh, and good luck with your studies. Sekusele kancane for you to finish there. That's absolutely amazing. And it warms my heart whenever I hear your stories about the things that you're grateful for. Abuti, who is going on leave, I can hear the joy in your voice there and the excitement. Get the rest that you need, the well-deserved rest that you need, right? I'm sure you've been working very, very hard. So get the rest and just relax. It's always good to be able to take a break. 3 weeks. Yeah, you're going to have a fantastic time there. Thank you so much for your voice notes. So on Wednesday, we had a caller, a lady by the name of Jenny from Laudium, who made certain allegations about ANC ward councillor Naeem Patel. This was during the open line. And Patel has reached out to us and wanted to give his side of the story. So we have Naeem Patel on the line. He is the ward councillor in Tshwane in Laudium. Naeem, good morning. Thank you so much for coming onto the show.
Morning. Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, so you wanted to give your side of the story based on what we heard from Jenny on Wednesday.
Yes. So thank you for giving me this opportunity to respond to this allegation directly. Let me state this firstly, is unequivocally the allegations made against myself are false, reckless, malicious, and defamatory. I've never taken bribes or money in exchange for documents, citizenship, visas, permits, or any form of legal status for anyone or from anyone. It is important for the public to understand that municipal councillors do not issue passports, visas, citizenship, permits, immigration documents. We as councillors have no authority or influence over Home Affairs functions. This falls solely under the Department of Home Affairs and National Government. And incidentally, the minister of this department is from the Democratic Alliance, not even from my party. The accusation that I receive money or bribes from foreigners is completely false and without factual basis. Serious allegations of corruption were made publicly on this platform without a shred of evidence. Because of these allegations, I want to make it clear that I fully welcome any investigation by SEPS, the Hawks, the SIU, Home Affairs, the NPA, or any other competent authority. If any individual has credible evidence of criminal conduct, they must present that evidence to the appropriate law enforcement agencies immediately. I have nothing to hide and will fully cooperate with any lawful investigation. South Africa is governed by the rule of law, not gossip, rumors, anonymous accusations, or politically motivated smear campaigns. This is also an election year, we must understand, and it is important to recognize the political context in which these allegations are being made. This ward has historically been won by the ANC, and it is clear that other political parties are looking for inroads into this community. Unfortunately, false narratives and personal attacks are sometimes used as political tools during election periods. The reality is that foreign nationals, including members of the Pakistani community, have lived and operated businesses in this ward of Ward 61 in Tshwane since the mid-1990s and early 2000s, long before I became a ward councillor in 2021. Actually, the entire CBD of my ward is run, the businesses are run by foreign nationals, every one of them before I became a councillor. Yeah. Their presence in this community did not begin with my term in office, nor is it controlled by any councillors. Properties and businesses are privately bought and sold, rented by owners, landlords, and property agents, not by us as councillors. No ward councillor has the authority to determine who may purchase or rent a property. I also want to correct the false impression that councillors are involved in immigration enforcement operations. Raids and operations conducted by Home Affairs, SARS, SEPS, or any other law enforcement agencies are coordinated not through ward councillors. This can be confirmed by other ward councillors and by these departments themselves. As a public representative, my responsibility is to serve all residents fairly, uphold the law, promote stability within the community, and focus on service delivery. I will continue to do so without intimidation, prejudice, or distraction from unfounded allegations. I will not allow my name and reputation to be damaged by malicious and unsubstantiated accusations made on public platforms. Legal remedies are being pursued in relation to these defamatory statements. Freedom of speech does not give anyone the right to spread lies or make criminal allegations without evidence. I stand by my integrity, my public record, and my services. My service to the community. Just one last point. Many of us regard Radio 72 as a trusted media house committed to fair, balanced, and accurate reporting. However, the discussion aired on the 20th of May fell short of these standards, as it was both inaccurate and unfair. A fundamental principle of justice and ethical journalism is innocent until proven guilty. Yet the discussion appeared to disregard this principle and presented matters in a prejudicial rather than objective manner. 702 regularly encourages the public to report unfair or inaccurate content to the Broadcasting Complaints Commission. It is therefore disappointing that this broadcast failed to uphold the same standard of fairness, impartiality, and accuracy that the station promotes. Beyond this statement, I have nothing further to say. Thank you very much.
Naeem Patel, thank you so much for coming on. He's the Ward 61 Tshwane councillor.
Did you know that you are entitled to buy a new, demo, or used car without a service or a maintenance plan? You can also use an independent workshop for all servicing and maintenance needs without your warranty being automatically voided. Independent workshops are entitled to all technical info and parts needed to work on your vehicle, so you can shop around for the best price and service. Right to Repair. It's your choice. Visit righttorepair.org.za.
Brush, stroke, paint, color, protect, and admire. From roof paint to exterior textures and interior silk, Warrior Paints has it all. The product range and stylish colors are amazing. And what's more, Warrior Paints has crushed prices for incredible savings. Enjoy that good old-fashioned personal service you deserve. For price, quality, variety, and service, Warrior Paints is streets ahead. Warrior Paints. Affordable, lasting luxury.
It's another girl! Yes!
Families multiply, fees shouldn't. With Ultimate Banking, you get support for every chapter. Get discounted banking for your spouse and give each of your children a head start with a Mega U account. Because as your family grows, your banking should keep up. Apply online. Your story matters. ABSA. Terms and conditions apply. ABSA is an authorized financial services provider.
Gauteng is currently experiencing high water consumption. To avoid water interruptions, residents are urged to use water sparingly to allow equitable supply. Act now. Save water. Every drop counts. This message is brought to you by the Department of Water and Sanitation, Rand Water, Gauteng Provincial Government, City of Johannesburg, City of Tshwane, and City of Ekurhuleni.
Joburg is more than just a city. It's an energy, a pulse, and a feeling connecting everybody. The heart of Mzansi. It's Joburg. In celebration of this, 702 has partnered with Jozi My Jozi, and we're calling on you to walk through the city center with us.
Walk the talk.
In the 702 Jozi My Jozi Walk the Talk. Babize bonke. On Sunday, 26 July, we're going to the iconic Joburg CBD, the home of dream creators and operators, where we dominate and history make. So join us and be a part of something special.
I'm ready to rock this book.
Because when Joburg walks together, extraordinary things happen. Enter now on primemediaplus.com and get ready for 702 Jozi My Jozi Walk the Talk this July, hosted by the City of Johannesburg. Walk with the people, for the people, for our Jozi. Babize bonke. Enter Walk the Talk now on primemediaplus.com.
It's just after 9:30 and Spiso Zulu is standing by with the news headlines. Good morning.
Thanks, Khomotso. Good morning. Parliamentarians are disappointed by the rules and processes they will have to put in place before proceeding with an impeachment inquiry into President Cyril Ramaphosa's fitness to hold office. A rules subcommittee last night took legal advice from private counsel following the recent Constitutional Court judgment that ordered an impeachment committee be established to consider matters related to the theft of U.S. dollars from Ramaphosa's farm. Frustrated students at the University of the Western Cape hope to take their complaints to Parliament after accusing the institution's management of ignoring their concerns. Students living on 3 off-campus residences in Belhar have protested over poor living conditions. They say their accommodation has broken showers and toilets, mold on the walls, faulty electrical appliances, and poor Wi-Fi connectivity that's affecting their their studies. And Samsung labor union members will begin voting today on a tentative wage deal that averted what would have been a major strike at the South Korean chip giant this week. The company and its union reached the provisional agreement on Wednesday following last-minute government-mediated talks. This move avoids a planned 18-day strike that was set to begin yesterday. And those are the headlines. This EWN and more at 10 or as it happens.
EWN Traffic.
Traveling on Grayston Drive, do you expect delays coming out of the M1? There's also queuing traffic reported on the N12 West heading towards Bedford View. This is just as we come out of the R24 merge. While traveling in Amalgam, do you expect delays along the M2 West between the Crown Interchange and Main Reef Road? An earlier accident is causing those delays, so please approach with care and be patient on the route. If you want to avoid this backlog, try to use the M1 South through Boysons. And then traveling in the city of Tshwane, we've got some delays reported along the R21 North. There's faulty traffic lights right at Monument Park, so please approach with care. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Real callers, real conversations, real voices. Open Line with Clement Manyathela. Brought to you by True Caller on 702.
Welcome back. It's the 702 Open Line with me, Khomotso Modise. I'm in for Clement Manyathela this morning. And let's take some of the voice notes that you guys have sent us. I see many of them coming in.
Khomotso, morning, Prabia. The reason there is a difference between the Madlanga and the Zondo Commission, we have discussed these things with our colleagues, and one of the things which is happening in our environment is that we want to see the results. We want to see something happening. We want to see the people who have been named to be behind the bars. We want to see the action, the investigation. What is happening in Madlanga, it's happening, it's like a movie. It's happening there and there. And therefore, in Zondo Commission, there was that dilly-dally and all of them. We always believe one thing in life is that if something is happening, because we are human, if something is happening there and there is an action. If something happens after 10 years, where maybe I'm not even forgetting about that, there is nothing, there is no actions when in reality, in terms of thinking, in terms of our environment. Okay, then, Khomotso, bye.
Morning, 702 and the listeners. Khomotso, Zondo didn't lay any foundation. Top politicians were not arrested. Mokonyane with those bribe packs and Mantashe, they were not arrested. Instead, Zondo get away with our money. Let me tell you, Madlanga is working. Whether you like it or not, Madlanga is working. Mamsota from Katlo.
Hi, Khomotso. Swale here. Look, I think one of the biggest differences with the Zondo Commission is that it's almost pretty much the ANC, the entire ANC that has been implicated indirectly in the Zondo Commission. And the report and recommendations were handed back to the ANC through Ramaphosa, who's a deployee of the ANC. Ramaphosa was never going to sit in his presidential office and make a decision on what happens. You know, he would naturally go back to the people who sent him into that office, the ANC leadership, and just look at who is in that office. And these people would have to decide what happens or influence what happens. So I think it's a good thing that with the current commission, there's also this unit that's been set up to act parallel to the unit and carry on prosecutions. But those people who think they got away from the Zondo Commission, some of them are still deployed in the National Assembly, Zwelin Kize and others. They must still be pursued.
100%. Thank you so much for those voice notes. I agree about having, this special task team that's been set up. In fact, if there's one thing that President Cyril Ramaphosa did well, was that he set up this special police task team during the commission and didn't leave it to the very end. And based on the preliminary reports that are being handed to him, there's already been action taken. However, I do want to say, and thank you so much for your voice note, Mam Zodwa, I do want to say, though, that I don't think that it's, okay, number one, I think there's a big problem in making the the issue around the personalities, right? So the Zondo as a person and Malanga as a person, and I hope that's not where we are currently, right? Because I don't think that these systems and what we've seen, these commissions have been personality driven. And I know that there are people that would like to make it about the personalities, to say, yes, Zondo did this because he had it out for whoever, and I don't want us to go there and make it about the personalities. I think let's make it about the commissions. And in the commissions in particular, I think that what's happening there is that we didn't have the systems that we currently have for the Malanga Commission when Zondo was at the helm or during Zondo's commission. But I don't think we should disregard what we have been seeing. I find it interesting that people want to disregard the fact that Vincent Smith is behind bars. Vincent Smith was a politician, a pretty prominent politician. He was a member of parliament. You know, I remember seeing Vincent Smith leading one of the ad hoc committees, I believe, where we had public hearings. I think it was on land. And he was a prominent politician, and he's currently behind bars, as in orange overalls behind bars. Yeah, and we've got other politicians, we've got other players, we've got an Anuj Singh, we've got other prominent individuals who are currently being prosecuted. What I will agree on is that the systems in the form of the NPA are not doing what they ought to have done, because the NPA set up a unit. They set up IDAC, the investigating directorate, well, the one that many people are very critical of currently. They set up IDAC, and IDAC is supposed to be pushing the prosecutions of these state capture cases. And it's been very slow. And having covered a couple of those cases myself, I can tell you that it's taking forever. And it does seem to me that there is Stalingrad there, that they are, active delaying there, even from the accused persons. And I think that's the biggest problem currently. And that's maybe one of the distinct differences. I like the point that's been made about how the report was about ANC people and it was handed back to the ANC to almost implement the recommendations. I can take that, and I can see why that might, be causing the delays that we are seeing. But yes, I suppose it's keeping our eye on that and keeping and pressing, making sure that we continually ask these questions so that something can be done. I also want us to know, I keep highlighting, the people that are arrested currently who are mentioned at the Madlanga Commission are not arrested for the crimes that they've testified about at the Madlanga Commission. It is so important to say that, because it creates the impression, if we leave it, we create the impression that Fani Nkosi testified about or was asked about being a middleman between senior police officers, the likes of Shadrach Sibia, as well as alleged crime kingpins Katiso Katie Molefe, and now he's being charged and prosecuted for being the middleman. That's not what's happening here. He hasn't been charged for any of his Madlanga crimes. All of this are for other crimes, and it's important for us to highlight that as we analyze these two commissions. But let's go to the phone lines. Let's go to Kwena. You're in Randburg, and you want to weigh in on the ticket system ahead of the match this weekend. Good morning.
Hi, Sis Khomuzo. How are you?
I'm very well, Kwena. Please go ahead.
Okay. So, with me, I bought my tickets on open tickets the last match that happened at Orlando. So what happened is the email that came to confirm my booking after I made a purchase, it said your tickets will be available at 7 a.m. on the 16th, which was the day of the match. Obviously, I was also worried. I kept on checking my emails days going to the match. But on the day of the match, just after 7 a.m., when I checked, my tickets were there. So I think the guys shouldn't really be worried. The tickets will be there in the morning. Yeah.
Yeah. And just out of interest, can you present proof of purchase maybe if you don't have the ticket?
No, you can't, because they need to scan those tickets. So you need to have but the tickets should come in on the day of the match in the morning. But you can't take your proof of purchase because they need to scan the ticket.
Okay.
The barcode, yeah.
All right. Well, I hope that that will happen to them as well in the morning. Thank you so much for that call, Gwena in Randburg. Mandla, you are in Midrand. You want to weigh in on the verification of foreign nationals in Durban. Good morning.
Good morning, my sister and all the listeners. I know, no. No.
Mm-hmm.
It took Home Affairs almost a year to verify Chidima's papers. And you want to tell me they were able to do 300 in one Thursday afternoon?
That's what they are saying. They are saying that these guys were able to produce their paperwork.
One person, it took them 6 months. We're still talking about the mother of Chitima, who also took another year to be verified. And the media is playing along with this, that it took them one afternoon to do 300. No, we are not insolent. It cannot be, as Madlanga Commission says, it cannot be. You can't play along with this. It just defies logic. I'm disappointed at the media. You can't play along with this. It's a lie, my sister.
So what are you suggesting happened, Mandla?
As I'm saying to you, it's a misrepresentation. Let me not use strong language.
Yeah.
It's a misrepresentation. The KZN head of Home Affairs really needs to come and just explain to the nation how were they able to do this. It has never happened before. Never. Every single person that Home Affairs has been asked to verify, it always takes them more than a year. How did they do 300?
You know what I think may have happened? You know what I think may have happened? The difference here may be, Mandla, and you're right, we need Home Affairs KZN to come out and help us and talk to us about this. I think what may have happened here is that they had asked people to produce whatever documents they had, as opposed to checking them on necessarily on a system. That's my speculation. That's what I thought when I heard the story, that where are your papers? Let me see your papers, and the papers must be dated or something. That's what I thought when I heard the story.
Then it means there was no verification then. And unfortunately, the media is playing along with this. It's just a sad day in South Africa. But nonetheless, we are not, we are not naive. We are not.
Mandla in Midrand. Thank you so much for your call, Putam. That's Mandla in Midrand. He's not buying it. He says that something's cooking here, particularly in KZN. Of course, those numbers came in. I think they came in at around 5 p.m. yesterday, where that about over 400 of the people that were camping outside the police station, their documents were verified there, and they found, out of them, the 2 were found to be not in the country legally. I think one of them had a fraudulent document, and the other, there was another issue with their documents as well. And the rest, I think it was about 457 that were checked by the end of the day yesterday. The rest were found to be verified. I think these are asylum seekers. That's the sense that we got when we spoke to them. So they will be now taken to a refugee facility. I'm also interested in this refugee facility because we don't have refugee camps in the country. So when they say refugee facility, refugee center, what are they talking about and how long are they going to be there for? But I know that Eyewitness News' Nhlanhla Mabaso is there, and I'm certain that he'll be asking those questions.
702 Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa.
My show is about getting you informed by the time you get to the office, your place of business, or wherever you need to go. Hopefully, you have a fairly good idea what's happening in Johannesburg, in Gauteng, and around the world. We want you to be part of those water cooler conversations, and you will be part of those conversations because you'll be a better informed citizen. What I like about the 702 family and 702 land is the ecosystem that we have built, the community. It's all about connection because we may be different, but ultimately the people you talk to and the people you hear are facing issues just like you.
702 Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa, weekdays from 6 to 9 a.m.
Managing your workforce shouldn't be complicated. That's why businesses choose Onacy, a proudly South African cloud-based payroll and HR solution. From payroll and e-recruitment to performance management and self-service tools, we streamline the way businesses handle their people. Scalable, secure, and always online, our system evolves with your needs because your workforce deserves the best. Switch to Onacy and experience payroll and HR done right. Visit onacy.com today.
Clientele is here to safeguard you and your family with compassion because life happens. Be part of a family that truly cares. Our funeral dignity plans have helped South Africans bury their loved ones with dignity for more than 30 years. Let us help you create a meaningful tribute that honors your life and those of your loved ones. We pay out within 24 hours and you will get double accident cover with a clientele funeral plan. Our plans are affordable. Pick the option that suits your needs. It's easy to apply, no medical examinations and no paperwork. SMS funeral to 31586. That's 31586. Clientele Life is an authorized FSP and licensed life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
Welcome to Nando's Taste-Demonials. Real reviews by real people. Today's testimonial comes from Jeff in Kempton Park. Now, Jeff seems to be a man of very few words. We've asked him to use his few words to tell us what he thinks of our flame-grilled peri-peri full chicken with any two sharing sides for $2.83. Jeff?
Nice.
Well, there you have it. When the meal is such a mouthful, you really only need a few words, I guess. Nando's. Oh, what a place.
Every week, millions of South Africans do the same thing. They pick numbers, they take a chance, and for a moment, they dream big. Now the National Lottery is entering a new chapter. On Tuesday, 26 May, Clement Manyathela will be in conversation with Sizakaya Holdings, the new operator of the National Lottery. Listen to find out what changes and what you can expect from this new era of the National Lottery. The Clement Manyathela Show, in conversation with Sizakaya Holdings, next Tuesday on 7:02. Sizakaya is licensed and regulated. No persons under the age of 18 permitted to play. Play responsibly.
702
Let's walk the talk on 92.7
and 106 FM.
Welcome back. It's the open line right here on 702. I'm looking at the comments on our YouTube as well, and someone pointing out that, yes, I'm wearing yellow, but it's the lion sweater. You know, the lion matches. I'm wearing that. And someone saying they thought that it's because I am a Sundowns fan. Never that. I am a Kosi for life. And one day I will let you know. I'll tell you why I'm a Kosi fan, even though I am from Orlando, Soweto. One day I will tell you the story. But yeah, we support our Pirates people for this weekend, and we hope that you come out on top. Hey, you know, begrudgingly. The only reason why I'm supporting you is because we are not contending as Amakosi. And I know how much this means for you. You know, at the start of the week, we were laughing at you because you were so confident about the fact that you were going to be champions already at the weekend. I'm hoping that's not the case again this weekend, because in my home, that man that I live with, my husband, he's a Pirates fan, man, and the stakes are high. I can tell you, it's tense there in our house. But I do see many of your calls. I see your WhatsApps coming in as well. Someone here saying, hi, Khomotso, the monies that are being recovered by the SIU back to the state are a result of the findings of the Zondo Commission. Their mandate to investigate compared to that of the Madlanga Commission was different. And that's from Simon. Thank you, Simon. Yeah, I think it's important to draw those distinctions as well. And also, we don't make noise all the time when money is being recovered. So maybe people would like more noise about that, to hear more about money being recovered. But I also do think that in our country, people want to see people behind bars. You want to see people that have done acts of criminality behind bars. The challenge is that that's not the mandate of the SIU. It's not the mandate of the Zondo Commission. It's the mandate of the NPA to prosecute successfully and get people behind bars. And if the NPA is not doing that, I don't think the commission should be blamed for that. But thank you so much for your voice notes, and thank you so much for your WhatsApp. In fact, let's take some of your voice notes.
It's not even a day. It's 2 hours. Much too much was there. It's 2 hours. Home Affairs 2 hours to verify those people, which is impossible when it comes to Home Affairs. And we know why they took those people to the bus and took them away from there, which we want to know, where did they take them? We know why they took them away. It's because of that. We don't believe them that they worked there. Case in Kahis.
Hi, Khomotso. I just want to respond to the guy who was saying it's impossible to process more than 300 in a day. This guy clearly shows that he has never used any land port of entry. How many people are being processed there with passports? More than 1,000 a day. More than 1,000. They can, if you have got a passport which is not valid, they can scan it there at the port of entry. They can tell you that you have overstayed your welcome in South Africa, or you have. So this guy, honestly, some of the things, just use your common sense, man.
Good morning, KG and the listeners. I would like to confirm that it's very possible for Home Affairs to check 300 individuals if ever they are in South Africa, legally or illegally. I'm also an asylum seeker. Even the police on the street with a phone, they can check if my asylum paper is an original one or is a fake one. So what can stop Home Affairs from doing 300 people within a space of an hour? It's very possible because with a phone, one of the days I was stopped by a metro police. She wanted to confirm whether my asylum is legal. She just scanned the code. After that, she said, you see, this thing is right, you can go. And then I went. So what can stop Home Affairs from doing that? Tulani from Orange Farm.
Morning, Komoto and team. Komoto, I agree with what Mandla is saying. There is just no way. Home Affairs is just bluffing us on this one. They're not even sure if those papers are legit that they were shown by these people. And out of 400, only two. So which means the two didn't have papers, not that they verified anything. So how can they say they verified them? Like, really? And I'm also disappointed in you guys, like Mandla, that you're just playing along with us. You didn't even try to check, like, verify something as well. But anyway, have a good day.
Thank you so much for these voice notes. Yeah, you know what would be really nice? It would be to have Home Affairs talking us through the verification process. Because I think most of us, especially those of us who are South African, don't know what the process looks like. We don't know what goes into verifying it. I heard one of the voice notes from my brother who is an asylum seeker, I think he said. And he said that they scan the barcode. So I'm very interested in the process of verifying. How do they verify that you are truly here, legally? But also one of the two, according to media reports, they found that the document was fraudulent. So that one did, present a document, but when they scanned it, I think they found that it's not legit, and now he's being dealt with legally. But I am interested in this process that's being done by Home Affairs. Of course, it's a story to keep your eye on. Also, the guy who said that where they're being taken, that's another question that's very interesting for me, because I've been seeing media reports about them being taken to they say it's a refugee center. In my knowledge, we don't have that in South Africa. We don't have refugee camps. We have been operating in a way where we integrate refugees and asylum seekers into our communities. So where's this refugee center? How long are they there for? What is the plan for that? Are they waiting for things to cool off before they go and reintegrate into the society? I'm very interested in how that's going to work. And I know that that's the question that many of our journalists who are covering that, particularly in Nhlanhla, who is on the ground for Eyewitness News, will be checking out.
There is a difference between verifying and investigation. When you investigate something, you go right from this day one. But verifying is you entering and see that the thing that you are checking is corresponding with what you have on your system. Not to say it's an investigation. They were not investigated, they were verified. So Mandla must get it right. There's a different case of Chidima and these people. Chidima was investigated. That's why it took so much. It took time. But verifying, you don't need it to take time. You scan like a license. We go by when we enter the estate, we verify our license. They scan it, and then we enter inside. That's it. But when it comes to investigation, you are now taking it right from the day you apply that thing.
Let's walk the talk.
702.
Komoto, I'm very grateful that at age 77, I can still move around, get my own things, not depend on other people, and keep on waiting for them to come and do things for me. If I want to go shopping, I go shopping. If I want to go to the doctor, I do it. If I want to go to the chemist, I do. If I want to go to church, I do it on my own. I don't depend on anybody. I'm really grateful for that. It's God's blessing. Thank you.
Oh,
Morning.
Thank you so much, Vincent. Okay, I see Abel wants us to take another grateful one, so let's take a listen.
Mornings, good morning, Khomotso. I'm grateful for family. This is Dimitri from Pretoria. I'm grateful for a wonderful baby daughter. She just turned 2 last week. Yeah, she's been a blessing in my life. Keep up the good work. A great show you are having. Love you guys. Be well over the weekend.
Thank you so much. I am grateful for all of your voice notes, your calls, your WhatsApps, and your contribution to the show and to the open line. Thank you very much.
Every morning, same taxi, same rush, same noise. And someone wants something. Your time, your attention. At work, in the streets, on my phone. Scammers, strangers, always calling. Now I have to put my phone on flight mode. Yes, silence, control, peace. The choice is not to put your phone on flight mode. Auto-block the noise by upgrading to Truecaller Premium for just R29.99 per month. Truecaller, trust the real ones. Available on the Play Store and the App Store.
Part of the 702 family.
Hi 702 lenders, my name is Nontanta Khatebe and I listen to 702 during the week and on weekends because on weekends it's the Soul Sundays. Kenny Mystery and Pushada.
Welcome to our 702 family. Let's walk the talk.
Mzansi, Walala Wasala. Play Powerball and Powerball Plus for the staggering 196 million rand in total estimated jackpots this Friday and step closer to a world of many possibilities. Don't delay. Play Powerball for an estimated 100 million rand and Powerball Plus for an estimated 96 million rand today. Buy your tickets now in store on National Lottery.co.za, the mobile app or cell phone banking. Panda, Pusha, play. Players must be 18 years old and play responsibly. E2 is a proud operator of the National Lottery.
The world's best male and female paddle players are coming to South Africa. The historic Premier Paddle Pretoria P1 will be at Sunbet Arena Times Square from 26 July to the 2nd of August. Expect world-class action, unbelievable energy, premium hospitality, and an atmosphere unlike anything South African sport has seen before. This is Africa's biggest paddle tournament ever, and tickets are selling fast. Don't miss your chance to witness the sport's biggest stars in South Africa. Get your tickets now at primemediaplus.com.
Whether you're a business owner in retail or in service and repairs, switch to Outsurance Business Insurance today, and you could get an out bonus of up to 10% of your paid premiums back.
It definitely pays to switch. I wish we had done it sooner.
Get a quote today and see why it pays to switch to Outsurance Business Insurance. SMS business to 47543. That's business to 47543. Licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
This is EWN.
Good morning, I'm Sriso Zulu. Parliamentarians are disappointed by the rules and processes they will have to put in place before proceeding with an impeachment inquiry into President Cyril Ramaphosa's fitness to hold office. A rules subcommittee last night took legal advice from private counsel following the recent Constitutional Court judgment that ordered an impeachment committee be established to consider matters related to the theft of US dollars from Ramaphosa's farm. But MPs say it appears the work that still lies ahead makes it unlikely that the inquiry will get off the ground soon. Lindsay Dentlinka reports.
In interpreting the judgment, Advocate Andrew Breitenbach has told MPs they don't have the luxury of time to set up an impeachment committee. But he's also recommended a long list of matters to consider before they proceed and to draft rules to guide how the inquiry will be conducted. The MKP's Mzwanele Mani said he was frustrated by what the suggested checklist would mean for the timeline.
If we take the route that we're being advised here, it means that nothing is going to happen for the rest of this year.
Rise Mzansi's Makashule Ghana said the committee had to find a way to shorten the rules-making process.
We might spend the next 3 to 6 months just on the processes itself.
The DA's parliamentary leader, George Mikalaka, said delays in starting the process would erode the credibility of Parliament.
At this rate, I'm going to be dead by the time that this impeachment hearing happens.
Political parties will have until Tuesday to make submissions on proposed rules, with the Rules Subcommittee due to sit next Friday to consider the way forward. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News, Parliament.
A 63-year-old woman accused of killing her 80-year-old sister has been referred for psychiatric observation. Aletta Rose made a brief appearance in the Bellville Magistrates Court yesterday. At an appearance earlier this week, Rose asked the court for an Afrikaans-speaking legal representative, but yesterday she turned down the new lawyer and she's refused to give instructions to advance the case. Kemre Clark was in court.
Aletta Rose is accused of decapitating her 80-year-old sister, severing her hands and hiding the body from concerned relatives, including the victim's son. Rose appeared frustrated and defiant in court yesterday, yelling at the magistrate and refusing to cooperate with her newly assigned lawyer. She consistently interrupted proceedings with vulgar outbursts toward the prosecutor. One of her tantrums followed a conversation with her son, who has indicated to the court he no longer wishes to participate in the matter and offer his mother accommodation should she be released on bail. The court ordered Rose to be examined by a district surgeon. The case is back in court next Thursday. Camray Clark, Eyewitness News.
Frustrated students at the University of the Western Cape hope to take their complaints to Parliament after accusing the institution's management of ignoring their concerns. Students living at 3 off-campus residences in Belhar protested yesterday over poor living conditions. They say their accommodation has broken showers and toilets, mold on the walls, faulty electrical appliances and poor Wi-Fi connectivity, and that's affecting their studies. Management says it's taking their concerns seriously. Ntutuzelo Nene reports.
Exams are expected to continue as planned at the University of the Western Cape today, despite attempts by protesting students to disrupt exam venues yesterday. University management says it recognizes the students' concerns and is calling for calm while efforts continue to address the issues. Spokesperson Hassan Abada.
We want to engage with the student body. We want to engage with the student leadership. We've always enjoyed a good relationship with the SRC and other student bodies. We're doing all we can in our power to restore things to the way they should be.
Ndutuzelo Nene, Eyewitness News.
And Samsung Labour Union members will begin voting today on a tentative wage deal that averted what would have been a major strike at the South Korean chip giant this week. The company and its union reached the provisional agreement on Wednesday following last-minute government-mediated talks. This move avoids a planned 18-day strike that was set to begin yesterday. The tentative deal introduces a new bonus pool for employees in the semiconductor division, equivalent to 10.5% of the division's operating profit to be paid in stock. Gold is trading at $4,530.33 an ounce. The rand is at 16.46 to the dollar, 22.10 to the pound, 19.11 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $103.89 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N12 West between Edenville Road and the Gululis interchange. That's due to an accident. Please be on the lookout there. If you want to avoid this backlog, try to use the M2 West as well as the N17 West. If you are traveling towards Amalgam, we still have got that accident right near Main Reef Road on the M2 West. Delays coming out of the Crown interchange.
A cloudy Friday in store for Gauteng. The temperatures will peak at highs between 18 and 19 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour. MPs are disappointed by the rules and processes they will have to put in place before proceeding with an impeachment inquiry into President Cyril Ramaphosa's fitness to hold office.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
On Sunday, 26 July, 7:02 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk unites us all in the iconic Joburg CBD. 7:02 Walk the Talk. Abize bonke. Enter now on primemediaplus.com.
7:02
Live
on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856,
92.7
and 106 FM. Let's walk the talk.
6 minutes past 10. Welcome to the second hour of the show. This is the Clement Manyathela Show. My name is Khomotsa Mudise. I'm in for Clement this morning. Thank you so much for tuning in. We've just had a fantastic open line. If you want to listen back to it, go onto our YouTube or the Prime Media Plus app. That's where you can find it. And also remember to join us for the open line of between 9 and 10 every day. In the second hour of the show, we have Across the Desk. And today we have a focus on small businesses. Two dynamic ladies are in studio with me who have turned their passions into business. And they're doing amazing work there as entrepreneurs. And they are joining me in studio. So if you can, please hop onto our live on YouTube so that you can see them. But also remember to weigh in any of the questions that you have, any of the comments that you have about their businesses. The number to dial is 011-883-0702. Send me a WhatsApp on 072-702-1702 or get in touch with me on X. My handle is at @Motso_Mudise.
Let's walk the talk.
702.
So I'm excited for the conversation this morning because we are dealing with dynamic women who are really making waves in the small business space. And I mean, you know, whenever we talk about small businesses, hey, we're always cheering people on to start. But really, it's a difficult space to be in. And growing a business, particularly from your passion, can be tough. We're spotlighting the stories of South African small business owners who are turning their passions into thriving enterprises, from luxury fine jewelry crafted with precision and purpose to beautifully scented candles that transform everyday spaces into sanctuaries of peace. Our guests are proof that small businesses can carry big dreams. We speak to two founders who have built their brands from the ground up, navigating the challenges of entrepreneurship while carving out distinctive identities and competitive industries. Khomotsa Moloi is the co-founder of Mo and K Essence, and Kamogelwa Phakgo is the founder and creative director at Luxury Fine Jewelry. Ladies, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Morning.
It's so good to have you guys in studio.
Thank you for having us.
You know, I was thinking, I looked at your businesses and these are clearly from your passions, right? These are things that you love to do. And oftentimes people are deterred from just pursuing a passion whenever they think of business because they say the money is not necessarily always in your passion. But you ladies have decided to pursue your passions and to make them lucrative financially. Motso, I want to start with you. How did you go about doing that?
Okay. The reason why I actually started with my business, it started as a passion. And as time went by, I did realize that, look, this is something that can really sustain me with myself and my generation, you know. And I started looking at it very seriously. And believe you me, from 2020, where I started, to where I am now, 2026, I can see milestones, I can see growth, and yeah, I'm really proud of myself.
And your passion is very simple. It's candles.
Yes, it's actually candles. It started with the love of candles. It started with me and my daughter. We are so fond of scented candles, you know, having your home smelling beautifully and like, you know, the sense that will make your home calm, especially in the stressful lives that we live under, you know. So yeah, it's the candles, it's the diffusers, and it also went into room mists. We also manufacture bath salts, and it also went further. We also making trays, like your decor trays, and yeah.
And Kamo, you are in the jewelry space. And I'd imagine, I was actually thinking when I saw that you sell luxury jewelry, it's called Luxity. Is that how am I saying it correct?
Yes, that's right.
Luxity,
Yeah,
right?
that's right.
I was thinking when I saw that there's so many competitors that are already established in the jewelry space. You know, when you think jewelry, you already know where to go, but you still decided to enter that space. Why?
Well, for me, it's not only why I started the business. It's more based on what I'm actually good at, like being passionate about what I do. It's something that actually started from school. So I actually went to school to study jewelry design and manufacturing. So I am a qualified goldsmith. So after like my tertiary years, I was like, you know what, okay, should I just go and work for like Browns or, these high-end businesses? And I was like, no, okay, probably that's not the way to go about it. And I decided to open up my own business, which is Laxity Fine Jewelry. And it was more to share my own creativity of jewelry, and to share my own uniqueness or my own creativity of how I like to go about creating what I love wearing. So I wanted to look different. I wanted something unique, something that will stand out, something with purpose. And that's just basically how I started the business.
And how does a girl from Kamadlala in Limpopo think, okay, I'm not going to go work for an established, company, brand. I'm going to start my own. How do you even go about doing that? You're fresh out of school and I want to do this. Where do I start?
Okay, I was raised by my grandparents, and mainly my grandfather, who was a welder. So, yeah, the inspiration grew from there, just watching him being creative with metal, different types of metal, and me being a person that loves wearing jewelry. I was like, okay, you know what? In order for me to like honor his memory, because he's late, let me just create a business that'll honor what he was passionate about. And that's when I decided to actually tap into the jewelry space and do the yes.
And Humza, I mean, you speak about this being, a passion with your daughter. At what point did you think, okay, I'm going to stop being just a consumer here? Because for most of us, we like the thing. I know with me, if I like something, candles, for example, which I do love using when I take a bath, I'm thinking I'm going to consume this thing. But at no point have I thought, let me go in and be the producer and actually monetize and make this a business. At what point did you and your daughter think, maybe we can make an actual business out of this?
Okay. With my plus minus 25 years of experience in retail, like my qualifications are also on retail with Val University of Pretoria, Val University of Val University, technology, and also with MAP. I acquired through VETS. I saw that, there will be times when you get so frustrated when you are at work and you see that, because I was like thinking to myself, how far will I be working for someone else? I think it comes a point in a time where I really realized that it's time for me to start my own business, so that this energy and this effort that I am giving to someone else, it's time that I give it to myself. And I saw an opportunity that if I can work harder and see what is it that can come out of this, it wouldn't be such a bad idea after all.
I'm speaking to two dynamic ladies who are who run successful small businesses. Khomotso Moloi, the co-founder of Mo and K Essence. They are all about scented candles. And Kamogelo Phago, the founder and creative director at Laxity Fine Jewelry. I want to ask you, Kamogelo, so as you're about to start, I can't imagine that there weren't any hurdles. I'm sure there were hurdles in the beginning where you set your mind and said you want to start this thing, but there were difficulties. What were those?
It's a lot. It's actually an emotional one for me, because my parents were actually against me studying jewelry design and manufacturing. They actually wanted me into the corporate world, like maybe a lawyer, a doctor, whatever. So they were not actually understanding what exactly do I want to do.
Yeah.
So probably they thought after my first qualification, I would probably merge or study something else. But when I told them that I want to start my own business, they were a little bit confused. So I did have capital. While I was like, probably when I was still in school, I was like doing like jewelry on the side, selling there on markets and all that. So for me, I think the most difficult thing that I had to experience, or that I did experience, was access to market. Because already everybody's quite familiar with these luxury brands, and it was like more of, okay, what makes yours unique? What is so different about yours? Okay, we can go to Browns, we can go to, Lovisa, we can go to. So I think the capital part of it wasn't really much of a difficulty, but access to market was the main thing that I actually had difficulty with, like having the actual places where I can actually exhibit or maybe showcase my stuff. That's what I actually had like a challenge with.
And how did you overcome that?
Being more consistent on social media and just going out there, seeking opportunities for myself. And yeah, I think that's how I actually overcame it.
So social media is a big tool for you?
Yeah, it is. It is a big tool for me.
And Khumza, your challenges?
I would say that funding can be a bit of a challenge, and I'm looking into the fact that I'm also growing. I am no longer doing candles only, with other range or lines that we are currently manufacturing also. Space, it's also a bit of a challenge, and yeah, there are so many times that we are looking into expansion, and honestly, money can be a challenge because being a small business person, sometimes you get to be taken for granted. It looks like you are not. It looks like it's something that it will just end tomorrow. It just takes one to really believe in themselves and to make sure that you push no matter how hard people see you. You just need to believe in yourself because most of the time, normally people don't believe in you, so you are the one who needs to create that that thing that, for people to take you seriously,
And Gamkhela, at what point did you feel like your parents now, okay, they can see where this is going, they understand it, they see the vision?
Okay, I would actually say that when they started seeing, like clients, like now, okay, I've got a client where I need to deliver where, and they're like, oh, okay, actually, this business seems promising. And when I also got an opportunity to travel to China for like a program, so just to learn more of the technical side of things. I think my parents, that's when they were actually aware of like, oh, okay, actually she's doing something right, or she's actually in the good. Yeah, I think for me it was there, and that's when they actually realized that I'm actually I'm doing something right about my life. I'm doing something good about my career. So yeah.
Yeah, it's not just a dream.
No, it's not just a dream. It's not just a dream for me. So yeah, I think. Yeah.
And I think it may have been a little different for you, Khumza, because you didn't have parents necessarily to convince to get into this. Maybe were you convincing yourself more?
Yes. In my case, it was more of I was the one who was pushing myself, But another thing that I would want to, maybe I can correct you on that one, is that I'm people who really pushed me to see to it that it's a do or die. I would say my kids, because I don't have parents, and when I realize how unemployment, it's the percentage of unemployment in SA, and looking again where we are working, it can sometimes not be a nice environment. I always looked at my kids and thought, how about I create or I build this for them, So yeah, in my case, the inspiration it's really from my kids.
And did you have a business background before this?
It's funny how when I look at it, I've always been passionate when coming to business from a very, very young age. I've always, I was selling sweets at school, I would, and for a long time. And I was also selling clothes. I'm very passionate. Like, I remember in 2020 we were supposed to go traveling and go to Turkey. That I like to go and get clothes so that I will come back and sell clothes. But that dream, it kind of like died, but not really died, because it's still my passion. Yeah, so business has always been my passion, and I am even glad that it's funny how, as much as I thought that I was going to overseas, like Turkey especially, to go and get clothes, actually more in K Essence, just last week, I just landed from Dubai and Turkey. We went there for an exhibition, and yeah, it was quite lovely.
Yeah. I'm interested in how you go about fighting the mindset of failure being a possibility, right? Because at the back of your mind, I'm sure there's always this may or may not work. How do you overcome that mindset in order to start and maybe even to continue going? Kamo?
For me, I'd say remaining resilient. I'm a very resilient person. I'm hardworking and I'm determined with whatever that I put my mind to. So I think, being resilient and prayer as well, and the support that I have also plays a role in pushing and thriving and striving to push through what I do. Yeah.
Did it help that this was also for you, do or die? Like your parents, I'm sure, were saying, okay, you chose this, now you must make it work. Did that help? That I have no other choice. I don't have options here. I need to make this work.
Yeah, because there are moments where I feel like giving up. Like, I'll just wake up and I'm like, what am I doing? Okay, let me just probably go find something else to do. But then I'm like, no, I know my purpose. I know the reason why I started what I started. And only me understands what I'm doing, and no other person really knows what I'm doing. So the only person I can actually prove myself to is myself. So I don't really need much validation from anybody else, but yeah, myself.
If you've got questions for the ladies that are with me in studio, Khomoso Moloi and Kamogelo Phago, they are small business founders, and they are, the one is in the candle space, that's Khomoso, and Kamogelo is in the jewelry space. Get in touch with us. The number to dial is 011-883-0702, or send us a WhatsApp at 072-702-1702 if you have advice also to share. You know, the one thing I like about our listeners is that they also are very insightful, right? And they share such amazing advice. I sit there thinking, oh, I should have thought of that. So I'm really looking forward to hearing from them as well. And if you are a small business owner, please share your experiences. How are you going about fighting the mindset sometimes? The mindset, oh, this might not work. This might fail. Maybe I shouldn't keep going. Is it worth it? And what are your challenges in your space as a small business? The number to dial is 011-883-0702. I want to ask you the same question, Khomoso, about that mindset, especially because you said, do or die.
Yes.
That's where you were.
Yes, I am, honestly speaking, I am driven by purpose. I am, like the lady mentioned, resilience. Resilience, it's if you don't have resilience, I swear you will just, you will quit. It's easy to quit. And also realizing, seeing the bigger picture of this whole mission, and I'm one person that I really like to be different from other people. It's realizing what is my passion and what is my purpose, and also with prayer and also pushing forward is always the key. So it's not a matter of what if I fail. To me, it's a matter of what if I make it. Yeah, that's my I would say my mantra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in your name, because your name is Mo and K Essence, right? Are you the K?
I am the K with my son.
Your son is Mo.
No.
Okay.
I'm with the K. We share K with my son.
Okay.
Mo is my daughter.
Okay.
Tlotlang o molemo moloi. So we call her Momo from Umulemo.
Molemo, okay,
Yeah, so
okay.
we call her Momo or Mo.
Okay.
So she's actually the one who came up with the name. I hope she's listening.
Mo and K.
Yeah, so she's the one who came with Mo and K essence.
I want to hear about the challenges of being in business with family because I've heard lots of stories about that.
Okay. All right. Yeah, okay. With my daughter, actually this one is quite very emotional, if I were like to mention that. It's amazing how having her as my partner, it's beautiful. It's amazing because, having maybe a friend, the way I see it, having a friend or just any other person, it can be very challenging because I believe sometimes you tend not to express yourself or express your feelings because you will be sparing someone else's feelings, But with a person like your daughter, we work, we understand each other to such an extent that she knows that when I am angry or I need things to be done, she understands me to the core, With her also, I understand her to such an extent that she is committed and dedicated. And if there is something that she can't do, I know definitely she will come back and do it. In our case, it doesn't only start with being business partners. It starts with the relationship of a mother and a daughter, being able to respect each other and know each other's mission and goals, So to us, it's easy. It's easy.
And you haven't found a challenge, sometimes people will say it's difficult to confront your family member because there's this relationship that you are protecting.
Believe you me, it's funny how when coming to being a mom to her, it's clear. When coming to being business partners, it's also clear. I'm not that mom who's like, I'm your mom, even if we are partners, I listen to her, she listens to me. Believe you me, there are so many times that she calls me into order. Like we will have a meeting and I will be so like, I don't understand how are we going to get this one. Maybe we will be on Teams meeting and she will just send a message and say, breathe, please breathe. And like, I like how she's also firm. She's very firm. She knows what she wants, and she always reminds me that, calm down, it's going to be okay, So I love that side of her where she always grounds me, I just love that.
We're speaking to two amazing ladies, Khomotso Moloi, the co-founder of Mo and K Essence, and Kamokhelo Phago, founder and creative director at Luxity Fine Jewelry. We're taking more of your calls on this. I mean, if you are a business owner that's also in business with your family member, get in touch with us. I want to hear from you. How did you go about doing that? And is it more difficult being in business with a family member? Because, hey, that relationship, you're trying to take care of it and make sure that the business does what it needs to do. Get in touch with us on 011 883 0702. It is 10:30, time for the news headlines. Sifiso Zulu, good morning.
Thanks, Khomotso. Good morning. 11 people, including 5 Mexican nationals, are back in court in connection with an alleged drug manufacturing operation in the Northwest. The group was arrested during a police raid earlier this month and faces charges ranging from drug manufacturing to immigration-related offences. U.S. President Donald Trump has accepted the credentials of Ruth Meyer as South Africa's new ambassador to the U.S. Meyer succeeds former Western Cape Premier Ibrahim Rasool, who was expelled as ambassador in March last year. And Israel says it has deported all foreign activists seized by its forces from a Gaza-bound flotilla. Hundreds of activists from countries around the world were detained after they were intercepted at sea earlier this week while making their latest in a string of attempts to break the blockade of the Palestinian territory. And those are the headlines. This EWN and more at 11 or as it happens.
EWN Traffic.
traveling on the M2 West, we've got delays between the Crown Interchange and Main Reef Road. That's due to an accident. It's really a major one. Please try to avoid that one. If you're heading towards Amalgam, try to use alternative routes like the M1 South and then turn off at Boyson's Road. There's also queuing traffic reported on the N12 as well as the R24 West towards the Kilulis Interchange. While heading towards the Flying Saucer Interchange, turn off to expect some delays on the N1 North. There's also a bit of a hold-up reported on Olifantsfontein Road. This was towards the R21. This is due to roadworks there. Please be on the lookout. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Hey, we buy cars. How does it work if I want to sell my car?
We'll drive to your place. You can visit our pods. Even if you don't have space, then at the mall in a parking lot, we've got lots of depots all across the land. Contact We Buy Cars. You're in safe hands. Safe hands.
Wow, that's great.
We Buy Cars, the easiest way to sell your car by far.
If you think you cannot afford a lawyer, think again. Clientele Legal has made professional legal services affordable. You receive up to 745,000 Rand worth of legal services per year. Our range of plans include cover for you, your spouse, children, and extended family. Plans include cover for civil, criminal, and labor-related matters. Whether it's protection orders, gender-based violence, uncontested divorce, or poor service, your Clientele Legal lawyer will be there to assist you. Our services are convenient. Simply pick up the phone and call your lawyer or send us an email and we'll get back to you. All plans include a bail benefit of up to 5,000 Rand and we'll go to the police station and pay it for you. Plus, Clientele Legal offers you 24-hour telephonic legal advice. SMS Legal to 48721. That's legal to 48721. Clientele General is an authorized FSP and licensed non-life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
Mzansi, Walala Wasala. Play Powerball and Powerball Plus for the staggering 196 million Rand in total estimated jackpots this Friday and step closer to a world of many possibilities. Don't delay. Play Powerball for an estimated 100 million Rand and Powerball Plus for an estimated 96 million Rand today. Buy your tickets now in store on nationallottery.co.za, the mobile app or cell phone banking. Panda, Pusha, play. Players must be 18 years old and play responsibly. E2 is a proud operator of the National Lottery.
702
Let's walk the talk on 92.7
and 106 FM.
Welcome back. It's Across the Desk on the Clement Manyathela Show. My name is Khomotso Modise. I'm in for Clement this morning. And today we've got a focus on small businesses. Two lovely ladies who are running successful small businesses. Khomotso Moloi, co-founder of Mo & K Essence, and Kamogelo Phago, founder and creative director at Luxity Fine Jewelry. Ladies, the one thing that you have in common is that, well, one of the things that you have in common is that you run your businesses online. I want to hear about the challenges of doing that, because it's great that you have the ability to run online. And of course, people go online first to see your digital footprint, to see the product. But what are some of the challenges with running a business online, Mutso?
Sometimes, to be quite honest, there will be a time where you don't respond to customers on time. And it might look a little bit unprofessional that you don't really care, and only to find out that you've been a little bit busy with something and the message that you missed the message. But, when you have customer service, customer courtesy, you can, if a customer is really complaining, you can actually, we apologize and just humble yourself and we move forward. Yeah, that can be some of the things that running online can be. Because I remember there was a time I really missed this other customer's message on Instagram. I saw it after 2 days or 3 days. And I'm one person that is very customer orientated. I wouldn't really want to make my customer feel like they are being neglected or they are not cared for, because the whole mission is to please with Mo & K Essence. Yeah. On top of my head, that's one thing that is coming.
And I suppose it's a big challenge, especially for a small business, because you are almost everything. Well, you have your
you wear all the hats.
Yes,
You know, you are
your marketing, social media.
You are a cleaner. You are like you do everything on your own. You know, and people don't really care about that. You know, but you can only do your best at the end of the day.
And Kamo, your challenges?
For me, I'd say balancing like multiple responsibilities, because you're the marketer, you're the delivery person, you're the sales, so and also the high competition that's there, you know, especially for me being in the high end side of things. There's so many jewelry businesses that people actually prefer buying from. So building that trust, customer trust, also plays a huge role as well. And being consistent as well plays a huge role. So for me, I think it's basically those few things. Because you, like as she mentioned, that you wear all hats. You're basically a whole round of everything. You're the marketer, you're the sales, you're the delivery person. So it's quite a lot.
And you know, I'm very interested in, I mean, you do speak about being in that high end space, and even in the name of your business you say, you know, it's for luxury, it says laxity, luxury. How are you able to penetrate that market and not fall on the your items or your goods, your product is for lower end? Because it was clear who you were targeting in this. You are targeting the high end, you are targeting the luxury market. How did you go about doing that? Just like some penetrating that space and cementing your place there.
Okay, for me, I'd say it also plays. Okay, for me, I think me personally, I love luxury stuff. I love high-end products. I love looking good. So I was like, okay, which market resonates with me, or which type of jewelry resonates with me or speaks to me, or the style that I'd love to wear? And I was like, okay, I love luxury stuff, so let me create luxury pieces that speak and tell personal stories, and they resonate with what I like and what I would love to wear. So I think that's that.
And I want to know about your proudest milestone so far. I'm sure there have been a couple where you look back and you think, oh, you know what, I'm very proud of this.
Yes.
What's that for you, Hamza?
I was so excited to in February, I went to Germany for Ambiente 2026, where I went and showcased Moen-K Essence. And I also got to see how other people in the same space that I am, how they do things, you know. That was quite a milestone for me. And also, I've also mentioned, I also went to exhibit at Turkey, Beauty Istanbul. And I'm also a proudly South African product, like our brand is proudly South African product. I have also showcased my products at Decorex. I'm hopeful that I will also be doing Decorex Cape Town this year, because like I did the what is it called, the Johannesburg one. I've also been in few exhibitions, like your summits, like your the Meetings Africa. I've done that, and I've also done Buy Local. Yeah, I've exhibited my products in so many platforms, and I've been to few radio stations, and I'm proud again to be here. And yeah, there are so many platforms that I so far Moen-K Essence is proud to say it's well known because of those platforms.
Yeah.
And I'm really grateful.
And Gamu, your milestone moment.
Yeah, I think I would start with, I think it was back in 2022, just immediately after just founded my business. I got an opportunity to enter an enterprise development program, and I was one of the top winners, I'd say top winner. So I think that opportunity actually opened doors for me to be able to travel to mining Indaba. And it's a space that gave me an opportunity to network and engage with like-minded people who are in the mining industry or in the mining space. Because with me, it's not only about the jewelry, it's also about learning the mining side of things. And also traveling to China, getting to experience the other techniques of manufacturing jewelry in China was also a good opportunity for me. And and also I'd say, as she mentioned, attending summits, trade shows, markets, just building brand awareness for yourself also contributed a lot to my business.
All right, I let's speak about pricing, because I know, Shame, I saw your heads both go down when I said, oh, pricing, all right? I can imagine that it's a difficult part of establishing your brand and your business. You put a lot into the products that you make, and then now you need to think, how should I price this so that people will actually want it, but also that they get within reach, it's not overpriced. It sounds very difficult to me. How did you go about doing that? Let's start with you, Kamo.
Okay, I think for me it's studying the market on pricing, understanding pricing, the costs, because pricing and costing, they're two different things. So costing is how much you're spending to actually produce the product, and pricing is actually how much you are charging or selling the product. So for me, I'd say yes, comparing myself to my competitors on how to pricing plays a role as well. Like, oh, okay, fine. I'm not only am I pricing myself a little, or am I pricing high, or what, but I'll actually look at the actual product, how much time and effort I actually put in to produce the product as well, and the meaning behind the pieces as well, because I don't only produce luxury, but also timeless pieces that can be passed on from generation to generation, or pieces that can actually be inherited. Yes. So.
And have you found people at some point saying they feel this is a little overpriced, especially because, and I ask you, Kamo, because you're building a luxury brand, and with luxury we think machankura, we think we're spending a little more on this.
Yeah.
Have you had instances where your customers felt this was a little overpriced, but you felt this is perfectly priced? How did you deal with that?
Yeah, it was actually like quite a recent incident when I was at the Buy Local Summit. It was in Sandton, around March. There was a lady that came to my stand, and she was quite interested in a few of my products. And she's like, oh, okay, how much is this? And I told her the price. She's like, but then I can find it at Daniel Wellington at this price. Why is yours so expensive? And I was like, oh, okay, fine. Probably you not the target market, because I'm not going to change my prices because of you feel like it should be less, but then I guess you are actually not the target market. So for me, it's challenging at times, but then I don't actually sleep on pricing, because like I mentioned, making the product, the inspiration behind the product, you don't only just you don't only just design, but the manufacturing part of it is actually the stressful part of everything.
And I say you agree, Khomzod, around
Of course, craft is very, it's consuming. It's your time, it's your energy, it's also putting passion into it, So what I also look into, what comes into my mind firstly with me is also looking into, like the lady mentioned, that with cost and yes, taking cost into consideration, but also looking into where do you wish who are the end users of your product. I also look into the SLM of like who am I looking into selling my products to, and then at the end of the day looking into what is it that my product, what are the benefits of my product to you, and also the creativity around it, and the like how does it satisfies you at the end of the day, you know? So pricing, yes, I do take it into consideration, and because you know, if you can't afford, unfortunately, you are not my target market. End of story.
It's across the desk, and we've got a small business focus today. Khomotso Moloi, co-founder of Mo&K Essence, and Kamogelo Phago, founder and creative director at Luxury Fine Jewelry. I'm looking forward to hearing more of their thoughts around their businesses, but also get in touch with us. Any questions that you have for them? 011 883 0702 072 702 1702.
702 Drive with John Perlman.
On our show, we cover the news, but we try to do it in a slightly different way. If there's breaking news, we give you the facts, but we're always looking for somebody who can explain to us why something is happening, and we apply that thinking to everything we do. That, yes, you want to know the what, but crucially, you want to know the why, and most important of all, you want to know how it might be fixed. The wonderful thing is we don't have one kind of listener who listens to our show. I think the kind of listeners we have are people who want to be heard, but they definitely listen very, very carefully. Once they've made up their mind, they come in very, very quickly, very sharp, very focused, and if they're not happy with the answer, you're going to find out very, very soon. And it's great because it keeps us interested and it keeps us on our toes. We're putting the show together, but thank goodness the listeners are keeping us accountable, and that's good for everyone.
702 Drive with John Perlman. Weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m.
Catch the Springboks live at Ellis Park this year. Lions fans, it's time to roar. Get ready for a season of pure adrenaline in the heart of Jozi. Secure your all-inclusive Lions membership starting from just 950 Rand. That's right, less than $1,000, and unlocks your seat to every Lions home match at Emirates Airline Park. That includes the one you've been waiting for, the massive clash between the Lions and the All Blacks this August. Don't get left at the gate for the biggest game of the year. Memberships are available right now at Ticket Pro. Own the season, back the pride, and get behind your team, the Lions.
Mzansi, the excitement is building. The 130th running of the Hollywood Bets Durban July takes place on Saturday, 4 July. This year's theme, Country Allure, draws from the richness of our land. A celebration of heritage, freedom and style, inspired by our beautiful countryside. It's more than a race. It's where champions are made, stories are written, and greatness is unleashed. World-class horse racing, bold fashion, music, culture, and a day of endless excitement at Hollywood Bets Greyville Racecourse. Get your tickets now at Ticket Pro and release your glamour at the Hollywood Bets Durban July, Africa's greatest horse racing and social event.
Running a truck fleet business in this economy is tough. Fuel, maintenance, staff, the costs never stop. That's why I switched to My Way Business Insurance. Now I save up to 20% on my insurance premiums every month. These savings go a long way to keeping my fleet on the move.
Switch to My Way Business Insurance and save up to 20% on your trucks and buses. Real businesses, real savings. Call us on 0860 646464 for a quote today. My Way is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. Standard rates and T's and C's apply.
For more about 702,
go to primemediaplus.com.
It's across the desk right here on the Clement Manyathela Show. My name is Khomotso Modise, 11 minutes before 11, and I'm having a conversation with some dynamic ladies in studio. Khomotso Moloi, who's the co-founder of Mo&K Essence, and Kamogelo Phago, the founder and creative director at Luxury Fine Jewelry. Someone on YouTube says, "Hi, Ms. Kamogelo. I want to say how deeply inspired and proud I am of you stepping into a male-dominated mining and jewelry space with such courage, passion, and vision is truly remarkable." Kamogelo, have you found it difficult penetrating that space just because it's so male-dominated and you are a female player?
Yeah, very challenging, very, very challenging. As she mentions, it's a very male-dominated industry, and it's also white-dominated as well. So when people do come across like a black female-owned business, a lot of people like a little bit skeptical about it. Like, okay, are you the sales, or what's really happening here? Who's the actual founder? Who's the actual EC of the business? And when you actually do tell them that, no, I'm the founder or I'm the business owner, and they're like, oh, okay, this is nice. It's quite, they're quite intrigued and fascinated by that. So, yeah, it's not an easy one actually, but then you create a room for yourself because no one else can do that. You break through those doors and yeah, for you to be able to reach far, that's the only way you can achieve or make it in this industry.
And do you find that people expect you to charge a little less because you are a young black woman?
Yes, I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, okay, you are not relevant, or you're not. It's not like a well recognized business. So what makes you feel like you can charge that high and stuff like that? But then I feel like people are not actually looking at the piece; they're actually looking at the person behind the piece. Like, oh, okay, but I feel like probably if it was probably a white person, or I don't know, in India or something, then probably they'll be like, oh, okay, fine, we might be able to buy. But then I feel like maybe it's because of I'm a black-owned business and a black woman, people do become skeptical about supporting the business. But then I do have my people that do believe in my craft, and people will just walk. I'm like, oh, okay, do you make these? I'm like, yes. They're like, oh, this is so beautiful. This is nice. How do we get a hold of you? And all that. And also, having the support, for instance, like, I don't have to supply everything by myself. There are certain things that I do have people that do help out with. For instance, where I'm manufacturing my stuff or where I'm based. I'm actually under a Rand refinery. It's in Germiston, under Ekurhuleni Jewelry Project. So they are the ones that do come through to assist with certain things, like certain equipments that I cannot afford and machineries and all that. So they do come through to assist where they can because they do believe in black-owned businesses, especially female-owned.
Yeah. All right. We're going to be taking some of the voice notes that are coming in. Let's have a listen.
Hi, Homoto. Thank you very much for bringing the guys there, which is a motivation, and it's a good thing. At some point, I was doing this MC thing, and people would say, when I give them the price, they say, "Why so cheap?" So it means you're not good, or you understand. So when at the same time you're trying to say you're trying to get customers, it doesn't work that way. You are devaluing yourself in the product that you know that it works very well. It's like now in the market, Bolt and Uber had went down because it's trying to accommodate people, and on its own you can see how the drivers have devalued it because they're just behaving anyhow. Because if you are not the target market, you must go to the taxi. If don't afford the taxi, you must go to the train. So these things, if you've got your price and you value your product, stand on it. Thank you. Big up to them.
Thank you so much for that voice note. I think Khumza also, he raises an important point, at least when it comes to people then not taking you seriously because you are so cheap. Is this something that you experienced in the beginning of your
Yes,
journey?
I'm still experiencing it till today, especially when you go to your face-to-face, like your markets, like where you get to talk to your customers. It's like, people tend to think that they can easily ask for a discount there and there, and like when you tell them, like, look guys, if you go to Woolies right now, would you ask for a discount because you'll just take it from the shelf and go to pay? So just do likewise. People tend to believe that because you are a woman, is black owned, they can easily negotiate their way out from the price that you have given them. Yeah, it does get to that where people think that they can easily negotiate and yeah, it happens.
Ladies, what's next for you? I'm sure, you are running your businesses online for now, but I'm sure you want to move into physical stores. What's next for you, Kamo, and then Mutso?
Okay, for me, I think it's owning a physical store, because I've actually had a lot of people ask me that, oh, do you have a physical store? Where can we find you apart from being online? So I'm working towards that goal of opening my own physical store. And collaborations, collaborating with fashion designers, collaborating with other crafters out there that are well aligned with my brand and my brand values, and also traveling, being able to be locally and internationally recognized. I think that will also play a huge role in my brand, and doing more trade shows internationally, doing more exhibitions internationally, and fashion shows as well is something that I'm also looking forward to. Yes.
Yes, Mota?
Okay. Definitely supplying, looking into getting into retail stores, and also opening physical stores, and also training, because I believe in giving back to the community, and I believe that it's also looking into sharing a skill, so that other people can provide for themselves. Also, traveling and seeing, and still seeing how other people are expanding in terms their range, because I was so fascinated at when I went to Ambiente. I saw these other guys. They also were manufacturing laundry spray. That I didn't know that they were laundry sprays. And that really fascinated me. Yeah, it's all about the expansion. It's on the horizon, and I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully soon, there will be Moenke Essence will be hitting the retail shelves. Yeah.
Ladies, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for coming into studio, and all the very best with your businesses.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
for
much
having us.
Thank you for the opportunity and the platform.
The Midday Report with Mandy Wiener.
The Midday Report at its heart is a current affairs show, but it really is a show about everything you need to know about and everything you didn't know you needed to know about. Our listener is sharp, plugged in, curious, has developed opinions, but is still open to learning new things. My favorite part is how witty, sharp, and funny our listener is. What we cover every day is breaking news, current affairs, politics, the courts, global developments, science, education, popular culture, sports, books, and of course, good things too. I like to think of it as a lunchbox with a little bit of everything. What I love about 702 Land is that it is full of energy. There's always something happening, a developing story to follow. But it's not parochial. The 702 family cares about what is happening in the world around them and how we plug into that.
The Midday Report with Mandy Wiener. Weekdays from 12 to 1 p.m.
The 702 Josie, My Josie Walk the Talk is calling on you to walk with the people, for the people on Sunday, the 26th of July. Babize bonke. And this year, you can choose from 3 different inner city routes. The 5-kilometer Victoria Yards route takes you from Ellis Park through the inspirational Joburg Cricket Club into Victoria Yards and past the Troyville Hotel. You then finish off at Ellis Park. So whether you're taking on the 5-kilometer, the 8-kilometer, 15-kilometer, enter now on primemediaplus.com. And get ready for the 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk, hosted by the City of Johannesburg.
We could tell you we are the best bank in Africa. But if you're a CEO or CFO looking to grow, you're probably more interested in the numbers. Like the fact that our systems process $9 trillion every year. That's around 45 times the value of all intra-Africa trade. And that our custody network safeguards 17.7 trillion rand in assets. Those are big numbers. And a big reason to grow with us. Standard Bank Corporate and Investment Banking. Standard Bank is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
Every year, Chamberlain pulls out all the stops. From 21 to 31 May, we present our famous carnival at all 9 branches throughout Gauteng.
Sacrificial pricing on hundreds of products for a limited period only.
30% off paint mixing.
HDH at a ridiculous price.
Heavy discounts on all power tools, the biggest range of all the leading brands. Steco, Inco, Ryobi and Bosch.
And 2-ply toilet paper at just 5 Rand per roll in a pack of 48. Now that's comfort and value rolled into one.
Chamberlain, famous for hardware since 1903.
This is EWN.
Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. 11 accused, including 5 Mexican nationals, will return to court in connection with an alleged drug manufacturing operation in the Northwest. The group was arrested during a police raid earlier this month and faces charges ranging from drug manufacturing to immigration-related offences. Nkosi Khona Malingamnisi reports.
The accused include 5 Mexican nationals, 3 South Africans, 2 Zimbabweans and 1 Mozambican national. They were arrested after police uncovered what is believed to be a clandestine drug laboratory. Authorities also allegedly found precious metals and hazardous chemical substances at the property. The group faces charges including drug manufacturing, illegal possession of precious metals, unlawful possession of hazardous materials, and contravention of the Immigration Act. The matter was postponed during the previous court appearance on the 15th of May for interpreters, verification of immigration status, and a possible formal bail application. Or see Khona Malingamnisi, Eyewitness News in the Northwest.
A criminologist says bureaucratic and procedural delays are affecting government crime-fighting efforts. Chris Kanyane was commenting on the Police Portfolio Committee's plans to launch another parliamentary inquiry, this time to look into the root causes of gang violence. Kanyane says criminal networks survive because they adapt faster than the institutions designed to stop them.
So for this inquiry to succeed, it cannot merely become another talking platform. It must translate into operational intelligence, coordinated enforcement, disruption of gang finances, present communication crackdowns, and sustained pressure to the criminal ecosystem.
Meanwhile, committee chairperson Ian Cameron says they need to focus on the accessibility crime bosses have to some of these institutions.
Why so many of the more senior gang kingpins are still allowed to bank at certain institutions? Why have they not been blacklisted and stopped from banking at those specific institutions?
U.S. President Donald Trump has accepted the credentials of Rolf Meyer as South Africa's new ambassador to the U.S. Meyer succeeds former Western Cape Premier Ibrahim Rasool, who was expelled as ambassador in March last year. During an interview with the SABC from Washington, Meyer described the credential ceremony at the White House with Trump as warm. Lindsay Dentlinker has more.
A controversial figure in South African politics, Rolf Meyer is hailed as having been a key negotiator to dismantle apartheid by some, by others as a painful reminder of that past for the roles he served in during that time, and as a sellout by sections of the Afrikaner community. Meyer met with U.S. Ambassador to South Africa, Leo Bozal, last month before arriving in the U.S. on Monday. The 78-year-old presented his credentials to U.S. President Donald Trump yesterday as part of a group of 12 new ambassadors. Meyer has told the SABC that he and career diplomat Thabo Tage are looking forward to representing South Africa and all the parties in the government of national unity. Meyer says it's too early to talk about which issues he will be tackling first, but that a lot of preparatory work is envisaged in the next few weeks. He says of utmost importance to him is to remove the hurdles that are impacting the relationship with Washington and the ability to grow the economy and create jobs. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News.
And Israel says it has deported all the foreign activists seized by its forces from a Gaza-bound flotilla. Hundreds of activists from countries around the world were detained after they were intercepted at sea earlier this week while making the latest in a string of attempts to break the blockade of the Palestinian territory. Israel's far-right national security minister sparked widespread condemnation by posting a video showing himself shouting at the group while their hands were tied. Israel controls all entry points into Gaza under blockade since 2007, where many Palestinians have been starved of food, medicine and other supplies since the war with Hamas in 2023. Gold is trading at $4,530.33 an ounce. The rand is at 16.46 to the dollar, 22.10 to the pound, 19.11 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $103.89 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got delays in Boksburg along the N17 East. This is between Rondebolt Road and the Atlas Road exit. Please be on the lookout there. While traveling on the N3 North, we still have got queuing traffic between Van Buren Road and the Gululies interchange.
A cloudy Friday in store for Gauteng. The temperatures will peak at highs between 18 and 19 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour. 11 people, including 5 Mexican nationals, will return to court in connection with an alleged drug manufacturing operation in the Northwest.
EWN, in touch.
in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
Visit primemediaplus.com to enter 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk. Hosted by the City of Johannesburg. Walk with the people, for our Josie.
For Joburg, by Joburg, in Joburg.
Bamise bonke.
702.
Live
On the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856,
92.7.
and 106 FM. Let's walk the talk.
Welcome back. It's 7 minutes past 11 right here on the Clement Manyathela Show. My name is Komodzo. I'm in for Clement this morning. Thank you so much for tuning in. We've just had a fantastic second hour of the show talking to two dynamic women in the small business space, and they're really doing amazing things. For that conversation, you can find it uploaded on our YouTube, on the 702 Radio 702 YouTube, or you can check us out on the Prime Media Plus app. In fact, all our conversations are uploaded on there, so you can revisit them right there. It is the third and final hour of the show, and of course it's a Friday, so we're talking relationships. I'm looking forward to my conversation with Lee Joy, a relationship coach, and she's going to be talking to us today about how to effectively apologize in a relationship. It can be difficult, and not all of us are eager and ready to say, I'm sorry. So we're having that conversation with Lee Joy. Get in touch with us. The number to dial is 011-883-0702. Send me a WhatsApp on 072-702-1702 or get in touch with me on X at Motso_Modise.
Relationship issues
Relationship talk.
on 702.
It's the relationship focus. So most people think saying I'm sorry when apologizing should be enough. But in many relationships, apologies leave people feeling even more hurt or even dismissed and emotionally unsafe. That's because many apologies are actually defenses and they are disguised as accountability. Many experts say that when emotional hurt happens, the body and nervous system respond to it like a threat, which means logic, explanations, and defensiveness often fail in moments of conflict. So what does a genuine apology actually look like? And how do you repair emotional safety after trust has been damaged? For that conversation, I'm joined by Lee Joy in studio, the relationship coach, and she is with me today. Lee, good morning. Thank you so much for your time.
Oh, so good to be with you and meet you.
Yes, lovely.
You got such a beautiful radio voice.
Oh,
I
thank
love,
you.
and I can feel your empathy. I was just listening to the interview in the car. I love your way.
Oh,
yeah,
thank
you
you
got
so
a beautiful.
much.
You come across beautifully on air.
Thank you so much. So apologizing. It's difficult because, I was actually thinking that when you say I'm sorry, it should be enough, right? We've been taught to say, even to children, when they do something wrong, you say sorry, and that should be enough. But I'm learning that there's more to apologizing than just the words, I'm sorry.
So on Monday, I was on SABC2 on 8 Let's Connect, and I spoke to Penny about listening. So the first step in apologizing is listening. And I don't think there's enough focus or emphasis put on why do we not listen? And I spoke about the emotional inner storm that happens when we hear a certain tone or we're blamed for something. And so the first step in apologizing is being able to listen to what the other person's saying and not like, oh, I'm going to get you. Oh, yeah, you're going to wait for me till I tell you. So I think the first step in apologizing is taking care of your own internal, what I call emotional storm. And if you're feeling triggered and you want to get defensive and it's not going to go well in being able to take accountability, it's important to say, you know what, I can't do this right now. I'm needing just to take care of myself so that I can bring the best part of me to this conversation. And then I'll see you in an hour, see you in 5 minutes, see you later tonight. but just taking responsibility for your own experience.
Yeah. And that can be tricky sometimes, especially in marriages where you are encouraged and people say, don't go to bed without making peace and saying, I'm sorry. And then you just say, I'm sorry because you want to go to bed.
Well, that brings us to with the third part. So the second part, at least, is it's one thing to say sorry. It's a whole entire different healing experience, Khomotso, when we take accountability for what we've done. So I agree that one should try and not go to bed angry, because you're not going to have a good night's rest anyway.
Yeah.
Who was it that I was listening to? That men go to bed when they're angry and they wake up like nothing happened. They're like, yay, new day. Women go to bed and wake up more and think about all the things that they're angry while they're sleeping and wake up even more mad than they did when they went to sleep. I forget who said that. I can see truth in that for myself. So taking responsibility or accountability in a conversation is so part of that healing experience. And what that looks like is like, I'm really sorry. I'm sorry that what I said and did affected you in that way, and it wasn't my intention. But I want you to know that I'm going to work really hard to make sure that that doesn't happen again.
Yeah.
This one was on me. This wasn't you. It wasn't your fault. I'm not sure you know that I share openly about my own journey, because I can't expect my clients to go where I'm not willing to go. So I'll share a personal story that happened this week, where I was feeling really low and down, and I to the point, I've been nearly 19 years sober and clean, to the point where I was justifying having a drink. And I sat with myself, and I was like, how did I get here? I've been through 2 marriages. I'm sitting in a 3rd relationship, and I'm struggling, and I feel like I've just left one environment in the first marriage to be faced with the second environment being very similar, and I find myself in a 3rd environment that's the same. And then I realized, but what I'm the common denominator. And what am I bringing to these relationships? Who is the version of me? It was, what's his name? Anyway, I watched a video of his this week. It'll come to me. And he said that we must look to what is the version of ourselves that we are bringing to a relationship. And I was like, what version of myself am I bringing? And I realized that it was the version that felt not good enough. The version that felt that the world was so heavy and it was just this big wave, and I didn't have the power and strength within myself or the goodness in myself to be able to stand up and be able to manage a healthy relationship. And I know you're sitting there going, so many people are like, what do you mean you're a relationship coach? You do this on a daily basis. What do you mean you can't do this? And I'm like, yeah, but doctors get sick. Lawyers need legal letters. You know, dentists get holes in their teeth. And I'm also learning. You know, I've never made myself out to be this guru on a mountain that's got all the answers. But I sat and I realized that I had, in that realization, that the internal environment that I was experiencing, I felt like I was in a jail of my mind. And I realized that I'd been projecting that onto people around me. That if my partner did something wrong, that he wasn't good enough. But actually it was my feeling of not feeling good enough in myself that I was projecting onto him. So it's been this apologizing segment today. These radio shows, you must know that I do I do a lot of research for them. And I bring myself, and life's like, sister, you want to do this stuff, you want to be in the public eye, you want to help more people, you're going to have to be more vulnerable. So I openly share my journey so that people can share.
And what is it about apologizing that makes us feel so vulnerable? You know, like so exposed whenever we have to extend ourselves and actually apologize?
I think I think it's twofold. One is because of experience. So maybe when in past times we've apologized and someone says, "Oh, you're just saying that," or you get a rebuttal back that does that, the other person's not humble in receiving that apology. So then it hurts a lot, where you've humbled yourself and have taken accountability and apologized. And then the second thing is I think we feel really bad in ourselves. So it's not nice. It's not a nice feeling to humble ourselves, but it's an important feeling to humble ourselves. And I think Mel Robbins talks about let them, right? And I think that's a powerful thing to understand. When I'm apologizing and they're responding the way they're responding, let them respond the way. I don't have to co-sign their idea of me. I'm taking responsibility for my side of the street, keeping my side of the street clean, and apologizing is something that is actually secondary between me and this person. For me, it's primarily because of my relationship with God. If I'm standing out of alignment and for what He wants me to be and show up in this world, that apology to the other person is actually an apology to God for me. And then when I'm in right standing with God, and because I stepped out of integrity of that in the way that I behaved, taking that accountability and humbling myself before God, I then come back into alignment with myself.
I find it interesting that you say that, because I had the same conversation with a colleague a few days ago, about a day or two ago, about how were you disciplined as a child, and I was saying to her that my dad he used to make us say sorry, of course, to him or the adults, so say you're sorry, but he'd also make us pray and say sorry to God and say, I was a naughty child, I shouldn't have done this, I'm so sorry, right? And that I think it changed my perspective a lot about, or maybe developed it a lot about apologizing and who I've wronged and who I am apologizing to for my wrong. But could it be that perhaps many of us don't know how to apologize?
If we can jump back, may I ask you a question?
Yeah.
So when you were a kid and you apologized to the parents and then you apologized to God, how did you feel afterwards?
I don't know. I think the one thing that it did make me realize is that whatever wrong I was doing was also bad in the eyes of God. So that developed that part of my spiritual journey. But as a child, I didn't want to be beaten. I just didn't want the hiding.
Yeah.
And I would still get the hiding. But I just wanted to get out of the situation. So I would apologize. But I think it helped me see the cause and effect type of thing. That, okay, you are wrong. So now these are the repercussions. This is wrong in the eyes of man, and it is wrong in the eyes of God. And you ought to apologize, to both. But I don't remember how it made me feel. It made me feel like, I hope that this can end and maybe I can get one hiding and not too much. That's how I felt like as a child.
Because for me, I felt such shame. I felt like this naughty kid in the eyes of my parents, and I felt like this naughty kid in the eyes of God. So I felt like heavily judged. So to say sorry for me became increasingly difficult because of the internal relationship I had with apologizing. And only when, like later in my life and in my journey with God, and this took like just last year, I'm 51, where a friend said to me, that shame and guilt is from the enemy, and God doesn't. If you apologize to God, it's gone. The word talks about from east to west, it's gone. He doesn't even remember it, think about it.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow. So apology is actually taking the burden, taking the mantle off of me, and setting me free. Like the word says, the truth will set us free. So yeah, I think it's important to keep that in consideration, that we don't go with shame to our Father. We go with humility to Him.
So we're speaking about apologizing, how to effectively apologize in a relationship. I do see some of your WhatsApps coming in. We'll be taking them after this.
John Perlman. Weekday afternoons,
3 to 6.
Some of the issues that the students at the University of the Western Cape have been raising are to do with the state of residence. It seemed to me a very small number of students who were actually protesting. I would have put it at around 60 or 70. They also showed scenes of students disrupting other students who were busy writing their exams. Yes, you have grievances. Yes, you should protest. But I believe that if there is to be a form of protest that leads to the substantial disruption, there should be something equivalent to what we have in our Labour Relations Act.
John Perlman.
3 to 6 on 702.
The Wits School of Governance develops leaders and innovators, those who reimagine governance, strengthen institutions, and drive inclusive growth. Apply now for postgraduate diplomas, masters, PhD programs, and executive education. We equip change makers to lead boldly and with purpose. Governance matters. Choose WSG to shape the future. Visit wsg.ac.za before 31st May.
Out there? Oh, why would you want to go out there? Your job's out there. Traffic to get to your job's out there. The guy at your job who hasn't showered since your last job is out there. Winter living is designed for staying in, especially with Decofern's red-hot markdowns on our coziest furniture like armchairs and couches. Get loads of stock and speedy delivery now at your local Decofern or decofernsa.co.za.
Just Andalex it.
Do you have a sore throat? Andalex C Oral Rinse and Spray provides targeted relief from 1 minute that lasts up to 4 hours. It reduces pain and inflammation while numbing the affected areas. It also kills viruses and bacteria that cause sore throats to help prevent serious throat infections. Andalex, South Africa's #1 choice for sore mouth and throats. For more information, speak to your healthcare professional.
Just Andalex it.
Gauteng is currently experiencing high water consumption. To avoid water interruptions, residents are urged to use water sparingly to allow equitable supply. Act now, save water. Every drop counts. This message is brought to you by the Department of Water and Sanitation, Rand Water, Gauteng Provincial Government, City of Johannesburg, City of Tshwane, and City of Ekurhuleni.
My name is Richard Sutton, and I'm the host of the podcast Shift Happens. This podcast is about you. About transformation, elevation, and becoming the best version of yourself. Each episode shares powerful, hard-won lessons from prominent South Africans who have faced doubt, change, and early failure and emerged transformed. Don't miss Shift Happens, the tools, insight, and skills to help you navigate the real realities of life. Now streaming on primemediaplus.com, the Prime Media Plus app, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts.
Relationship issues?
Relationship talk.
On 702.
Welcome back. It is relationship time, our relationship focus. And my guest today is Lee Joy, a relationship coach. We're speaking about how to effectively apologize in a relationship. Someone here says, why do some women withhold sex when they're upset and also use sex as a way to apologize when they've done wrong? When she starts to wiggle like a worm in bed, I know that's her way of apologizing. Ew, this gender.
Wiggle like a worm.
Wiggle, that got me too. It's the not having to verbalize and the not having to put it in words, but I'm sorry. But, I don't want to actually tell you I'm sorry, but you can see I'm sorry. Is that what it is, Lee?
Yeah, I totally agree. I think saying sorry in any way, shape, or form is a humbling experience, and it's important. So I think when there's been a disruption, the Gottman Institute, they've been studying relationships since the 70s, and they came out with some really powerful research not so long ago that every single relationship has like breaks and disconnection or fights, one would call it, in the relationship. And unless it's toxic and abusive, it's totally normal for that to happen in a relationship. But the most important thing is the repair. How do we repair? How quickly do you repair? And how honestly do you repair? So maybe for some, like care and connection is really important. And so a physical touch is a love language. So I'm assuming that somebody that really values physical touch would use that as a way of reconnecting with someone.
And is it still important to verbalize, so to say the words, even though you are doing the actions. You know, you're making him breakfast. Maybe you're not the type to make breakfast, but now you're making breakfast for your partner. You're showing up for them. You know, is it still important to say the words, I am sorry?
I think so, because I think it's acknowledging what happened, and it's not just the sorry, it's the accountability as well. So it's saying how I see that this must have impacted you in this way, and I'm really sorry, and I'm going to do everything in my power to ensure that that doesn't happen again. There are 3 parts to an apology.
Someone else here is asking, I'd like to ask, it's Rabes Yua saying, I'd like to ask why apologizing is harder for women than it is for men.
I don't know if that's true.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot, though. I've heard it a lot
Yeah.
from men.
Yeah, in my experience, I think men struggle to say sorry more so than women. Yeah, I don't think it's a gender thing. I think it's a people thing. Yeah, I mean, I think people also sit with, well, you haven't said sorry about that thing, so why must I say sorry about this thing? Like we're waiting for apologies, and sometimes we need to let go of things that we're not going to get apologies for, but we need to decide how important that is. I this year have really learned about letting go. You know, looking at the elephant in the room, and when we don't want to let go of things, we kind of shove them under the carpet, and then after a while we trip over the things that are lying under the carpet. So I think apologizing does a lot to take this stuff out from under the carpet, look at it, do the 3 things. I'm sorry. I see that it impacted you in this, and this way. And thirdly, I'm going to do everything in my power to ensure it doesn't happen again.
Well, we will be speaking after the break. We'll talk about accepting the apology you never received and how to go about doing that. But I think we should take a voice note from one of our listeners.
Nkomoto, and to your guest as well, Makosonke from Jablani in Soweto. I just want to say on my side, what I've learned is to apologize, correct what I'm apologizing for, and add value on things that I'm not adding value on. So for me, it's and be consistent in terms of what you are correcting and the value that you add, because it's easy for someone to let go of someone who's adding value in their lives. Thank you.
I love how there are steps to this, right? That he's not just apologizing, but then he's going to say, I'm going to correct this. I'm not going to do this again. And I suppose that's what sets apart the where it's just a talking thing, mouthpiece, just saying you're sorry and actually meaning it and wanting to change. That's important, isn't it?
Absolutely. I love what he talks about consistency, because we can say sorry, but then go back to doing the same thing. But consistency and discipline go hand in hand in being able to rectify poor behavior.
Someone else here saying, good morning, Khomotso. It's Lerato from Garanku. Hi, Lerato. I'm in a relationship of 6 years and really struggling with shame as I cheated several times on my partner with different men and decided to really apologize to him, ask him and implement how I can make him feel secure again, do introspection and change when I became pregnant with our son in 2022. And still find myself in a situation whereby when he cheats or does something hurtful recently that involves other women, whilst not being affectionate the way he used to be, he then brings my past up. The biggest hurt was 2 weeks ago. I asked him, what can I do or say to show how sorry I am? Then he replied, die. Is it time to let go or keep trying to show him how sorry I am and have been loyal since being pregnant until now? Sure. This is loaded. In fact, actually, let me just stop you there, Lee. I think we should take it after the news headlines because there's a lot to, break down here and a lot to address in this really loaded message. We are speaking about how to effectively apologize in a relationship. My guest is Lee Joy. I want to hear from you. Send us your voice notes as well. Do you find it difficult to apologize? Give us a call. The number to dial is 072-702-1702. We'll take all your messages and your calls after the headlines. Mbali Dlamini is standing by with the news headlines. Good morning.
Thanks, Khomotso. Good morning. Acting Police Minister Feroz Kachalia will be releasing the fourth quarter crime statistics today. The stats will be covering crimes reported between January and March this year. Last year, over 5,700 murders were recorded during the reporting period, amounting to a rate of about 63 people killed every day. The man linked to the death of a witness who testified at the Madlanga Commission is continuing his bail application at the Brakpan Regional Court. Matipandile Soteni has denied being in close proximity to where the murder took place, saying his car tracker does not place him near the scene. Soteni is facing murder and attempted murder charges in connection with the death of Marius van der Merwe, also known as Witness D. While in Bangladesh, thousands of protesters have clashed with police while trying to seize a suspect accused of raping a 4-year-old child. The suspect was initially detained by locals and was being handed over to the authorities when tensions boiled over. The clashes lasted nearly 6 hours and a police vehicle was torched. Well, those are the headlines. This EWN and more at midday or as it happens.
EWN Traffic.
Traveling on the M1 South, we've got delays. This is just as you approach Houghton Drive. Please be on the lookout there. While heading towards Parktown, we've got a major accident scene. It's on the M1 North. It happened near Empire Road. It's causing heavy traffic volumes coming out of the double-decker section. About a 20-minute hold up there. Please be on the lookout and be patient on the route. If you want to avoid this backlog, especially if you're heading towards areas like Emmarentia as well as Melville, please try to use Solomon Street as well as Stanley Avenue. If you were traveling on the M2 West, we've got delays between the Crown Interchange and Main Reef Road. That's due to an earlier accident. Then in Bedford View, we've got queuing traffic on the N3 North approaching the Gilulis Interchange. That's due to the roadworks that are taking place along this route. As a result, we're seeing delays as well on the R24 and the N12 West between Edenville Road and the Gilulis Interchange. And that's your last update from me, Amo Ramela. Karabujale will have your next traffic report from the top of the hour onwards. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Still shopping around for a saving here and a deal there? Choose Checkers, SA's #1 in value supermarket, and save on deals like Lancewood cheddar or Gouda cheese, 900 grams for $139.99. Surf Fruit 100% fruit juice blend, 1.5 litre, any 2 for 89 Rand. And Omo Auto liquid detergent 2 litre or capsules 20 per pack, any 2 for 200 Rand. Valid until 7 June, only at Checkers.
We're giving you millions of reasons to celebrate with our selection of Lucky Millions Lotto draws. You could claim major jackpots when you pick numbers from thousands of daily draws. Choose numbers on UK 49s, Euro Millions, and lots more from just £5 per line. Enjoy more chances and more ways to win, all in one place. Grab your chance to celebrate extraordinary riches when you play Lucky Millions from Hollywood Bets. Bet now.
T's and C's apply. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counselling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp HELP to 076 675 0710.
The pain of losing a loved one is never easy. It will leave you feeling overwhelmed. At Clientele, we understand that burying loved ones with dignity truly matters. Our funeral plans pay out cash within just 24 hours and you receive 200 Rand airtime when you claim to make those important calls. Plus, we cover up to 13 people on one plan. SMS funeral to 31586. That's 31586. Clientele Life is an authorized FSP and licensed life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
Relationship issues?
Relationship Talk
On 702.
It's the relationship focus, and we're talking about how to effectively apologize in a relationship. Lee Joy is joining me in studio. She's a relationship coach, helping us make sense of apologizing in our relationships. Just before the break, we read a message, and I want us to go through it again before we go to the phone lines. So it says, Lerato from Garangua here. I'm in a relationship of 6 years and really struggling with the shame as I cheated several times on my partner with different men and decided to really apologize to him, ask him, and implement how I can make him feel secure again. Do introspection and change when I became and change. When I became pregnant with our son in 2022, and I still find myself in a situation whereby when he cheats or does something hurtful recently that involves other women while not being affectionate the way he used to be, he then brings up my past. The biggest hurt was 2 weeks ago when I asked him, what can I do or say to show how sorry I am? Then he replied, die. Is it time to let him go or keep trying to show him how sorry I am and have been loyal since being pregnant until now? And she sent a little follow-up saying that she's even had thoughts of taking her own life. She was recently admitted in hospital.
Sure. This isn't an easy message to deal with on air. So I'm glad that she's gotten the support that she needs. I work with couples like this every day where there's been cheating on either side or both sides, and how to heal from betrayal trauma. One needs trauma-informed therapy. My heart goes out to you, and my heart goes out to your partner. This is never easy thing to get through, but there are 4 phases to healing from betrayal trauma. And the first is to validate the reality in your emotions, both of you that have been through it. Regulate yourself, your nervous system. And thirdly, establish firm boundaries. And then fourth, seek specialized support. There's also, you can rebuild and move forward. There are relationships that I've worked on that have actually gone on to be better than before. But then again, one needs to ensure that there's no abuse. And I'm concerned that she was told that he would hope that she would die. That's a toxic and abusive thing to say. No matter how hurt or angry we are. I'm worried about that statement, and I'm worried for you. But thank you for reaching out. And on air here and being brave and sharing your story, because I think it's a lot of people's story. And feel free to contact me on my WhatsApp on 079 525 8991. Hang in there.
Yep, thank you so much for that, Lerato. Strength to you, and I just wish you, peace, just peace, because this does sound terribly unpeaceful. Let's go to Thabo in the Midrand. Thank you so much for holding, Thabo. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Kumzo. How are you?
I'm okay. Abudi, how are you?
I'm very good. You know what my say on this? My question mostly is, at what time do you stop saying sorry? Actually, in a situation where it looks like you saying sorry, it's more like you're the can I say stupid one, because the person keeps on doing the same thing over and over again. My situation will be similar to the letter that maybe you just read, whereby you find you have a partner and then she cheated, and then she blames you for doing whatever she's doing because of maybe you being negligent, or maybe neglecting her, let me say, or you not being available, maybe due to your work, if you get me. And then at the end of the day, you are blamed for that, and then you're saying sorry, and then you try to fix, and then you later find out that the person has changed the partner they cheated with. Now they've found another one. So at what point do you say, this is enough? Even though you're saying you're staying in for the kids, but at what point do you tell your heart to say, this is not working, and you stop saying sorry, because it hurts you more than the person, and then it's more like people are just getting excuses to keep on doing whatever they do, because it hurts most. It's the most hurting thing to be cheated by somebody that you are trying to build with and to raise kids with, and especially if you love the person. So, but at what point do you stop saying sorry and you move on? Because some of us are unable to do that. You can say sorry, and then you try to make things that people are saying you're not doing in the relationship. But if this person, you are trying to improve things that they say you're not doing, and they keep doing it, but at what point do you say, I'm letting go? It's enough. I've had enough. It's time to let go. I'll just leave it there. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Thabo. That's Thabo in Midrand there. It sounds like an incredibly manipulative situation that he's in, very toxic.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking. Thabo, thank you for sharing. I'm going to say something that's unpopular, but I'm going to say, because I think it's important, that cheating is a two-way street. There may be neglect. There may be reasons why somebody went outside of the relationship to seek whatever they went and seeked. But when they've apologized for cheating, but they carry on cheating, there's no accountability. That's not an apology. That's a manipulation, as you've quite rightly said, Khamotso. And I think that somebody that continues to cheat but blames you for their cheating is not taking responsibility and is very toxic. And yeah, I'd recommend that you get hold of me and let's have a conversation about your next steps.
Yeah, it's the fact that he says, he's staying for the children. He wants to do the right thing, but also he says he loves her. He truly loves her, and now he feels like the fool. I really hope you'll be able to get help there, Thabo. Let's go to Charles in Pretoria. Charles, good morning. Thank you so much for calling in. Welcome to the show.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, my problem is I'm a fairly senior person. We've been married for over years. My wife, when you go out to public events, like there's a party, birthday party, etc., her other version shows up. She flirts in front of me with a man or me. And I've raised it many times. No apology came out. What instead happens is when we come back home, I'm upset. She would cook a good meal, then I would eat. That's where it would end. In a sense, that's an attempt to apologize. But to an extent that if we have to go out, I become worried which version is going to show up. How can I deal with it? I raised the issue of maybe going out for counseling. She says definitely no. She refuses. But what can I do about this?
Lee?
So, hi, Charles. Thank you for phoning in. Come and have a session with me and let's work out a way to go forward. Often people come to me, just one of the partners, and the other partner's refusing counseling. And after a few sessions, they've like grown in a way, and the other partner's like, "Ooh, sure. Who are you seeing? I want to see this lady, Lee Joy." And yeah, come and have a chat with me, Charles. It's a horrible situation to be in, to kind of feel on eggshells when you're in a public space and watch your partner flirt with other men. It's really uncomfortable. And yeah, come and have a chat with me.
And Charles, I'm interested in, I just wanted to ask you, because you say you'd get home, she'd make the meal, and then, that's her way of apologizing. You move on. But have you ever verbally told her that you've got a problem with this? How would she know that you are upset? Would you be talking about it, or would your energy just shift and your mood just change?
I speak my mind quite frankly, and at times, at the beginning, I was very brutal. I don't want to lie to you. I was very brutal, I was very direct, and she ended up crying the first time. Okay, then I calmed down, I raised it. Look, I feel disrespected when you flirt in front of me. If you flirt, I'm not there. Maybe that may not be an issue. If that makes you happy, you flirt there, I'm not there. But when you do it in front of me, I feel totally disrespected. And I do not know how I will react next time I see it. That's what I said to her.
Charles, thank you so much for sharing your story. It's always difficult. I mean, because it seems as though she doesn't see that she did something wrong. I mean, she keeps on doing it over and over again. And I don't know if it's because she doesn't care or she finds nothing wrong with what she's doing. It sounds really difficult there for me, Lee.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, we're going to be taking more of your calls and your voice notes. Let's take a bit of a break.
The Money Show with Stephen Grootes on 702.
My show is about your money, and it's about how people have made their money. But it's also about what happened to your money today, what happened on the JSE, what's happening overseas. All of these things, all about the way in which people make their money, spend their money, use their money, and in so many ways, use their money to make more money for them. What I absolutely love about the 702 family and 702 land is the huge warmth of people, the generosity that they show. But I also absolutely love the hustle. Anyone in business is actually trying to improve the economy. They're trying to have an impact on all of us. And there's a go-getting attitude to 702 land that you don't see in so many other places. That's what I really love about 702 land. That getting together and doing something new, and in the process, making money.
The Money Show with Stephen Grootes. Weekdays from 6 to 8 p.m.
Mzansi, no one knows their sports like you do. And Sizekaya, the new official national lottery operator, is making your favorite game great again with Match Play. Predict, play, and win from the outcomes of different matches across soccer, rugby, and cricket at halftime or full-time. Enjoy more games, more moments, and more chances to win big. A new chapter begins with Sizekaya on the 1st of June. Sizekaya is licensed and regulated. No persons under the age of 18 permitted to play. Play responsibly.
Ask yourself, what matters most? Is it being there for their first steps and still around for their first dance? Knowing you're not just covered, but cared for. Bonitas goes beyond benefits and claims. We're in your corner for what matters most. Bonitas, medical aid for South Africa. Voted #1 medical aid in the Ask Africa Orange Index Awards for the 2nd year running. Visit bonitas.co.za and find your plan.
To walk the talk is to turn words into meaningful actions. And it's what we at 702 are committed to doing every day. We are also committed to following the rules set out by the Broadcasting Complaints Commission's Code of Conduct. To give you balanced programming, fair comments, and accurate news. But if we stumble along the way and you feel we are not living up to the code, let us know on comment@702.co.za. And if after that you're still not happy, you can direct your complaint in writing to the Broadcasting Complaints Commission. Email bccsa@nabsa.co.za. For more, visit bccsa.co.za.
Relationship issues?
Relationship Talk
on 702.
It's the Relationship Focus on the Clement Manyathela Show. Welcome back. My guest is Lee Joy. She's a relationship coach. Lee, we're talking, of course, about how to effectively apologize in a relationship. Is there ever a time where an apology is not ideal?
Yeah, I think a friend of the show mentioned this off air. And I think state of mind is of the other person and yourself to take into consideration. So if you've got really heightened emotions, like you're really angry, really sad, really, overwhelmed with emotion, kind of cuts us off from our logic thinking. And it's important to be able to walk away from the person that's really mad and give them time to calm down and then repair. Sometimes I find, though, with clients that one partner can be really angry for a few days and then just pretend nothing happened and just move on. And I said earlier that it's really important to decide whether that thing that happened, is it worth bringing up and working through it, or is it important to let go? So again, timing is really important when it comes to apologizing. Making sure that you are ready to take full accountability. You're not just saying sorry for the sake of saying sorry. And that being also asking, is the other person in a good space to be able to receive your apology if it's good timing, yeah.
All right, let's take some of our calls. Undaba in Sandton has been holding. Thank you so much for your patience, Undaba. Good morning, go ahead.
Good morning, Khomotso. So I wanted to ask your guest, along the lines of the comment you just made, is it ever unreasonable to expect an apology? And where I'm coming from, many, many years ago, in a past relationship, there was infidelity, not on my side, but after a while, we went to counseling with my partner at the time. and we went to a therapist that she'd already been seeing on her own. And so the first session we went to together, the first thing the therapist said to me was, before we go anywhere, I need you to make a decision. This person we're dealing with is a cheater. That's who they are. And you can't change them. So you must decide whether or not you're okay with that. And this wasn't to say they're going to cheat on you, but you can't change them. And so even with your caller just now, Charles, who was talking about his partner, my question becomes, if someone has done something, it doesn't have to be infidelity. They've done something that they know they're likely to do again, and they don't necessarily see a problem with it, or they don't want to see a problem with it. And you are demanding an apology from them, and they apologize for the sake of apologizing, where really it's like, I am Daba and I smoke, and you need to accept that as an example. I can't apologize for smoking. I'm choosing to smoke, and I'm going to continue smoking.
I hear you, Ndaba. It's a difficult one, Lee.
Thank you, Ndaba. So I think that it's important to have a great understanding of your own boundaries. I love the example of smoking. A person can't apologize for smoking because that's a choice that they're making. If you're choosing to be with a smoker, then that's a choice that you're making. To say someone is a cheater and you just got to accept them for who they are, I guess is the same thing in a way. Like, are you willing to be, knowing that that's the way that the person is, and they're not willing to change, and you're choosing to stay, as hard as that is, for your own peace of mind, I recommend that you find a way to accept then that behavior. I agree. I can't stay in a relationship with someone who, like, for argument's sake, is smoking, and they're not willing to give up smoking, but I give them hell for smoking. That's my own boundary that I'm violating then.
And so would it then be unreasonable for you then to expect an apology from them?
Yeah, because they're like, this is me. I'm not lying to you. I'm not saying I'm not going to smoke. I smoke, and if you don't like being with somebody that smokes, then I'm sorry. You got to make a decision based on that.
Sure. Okay, Ndaba, I hope that helps.
No, but thank you.
Ndaba there. Thank you so much for your call. He's from Sandton. I think it can be difficult, right? Where sometimes you want the person to change. So when they apologize, you believe them, even though you know that they're not going to change, or you know they're not going to stop. But because you want them to change, you're choosing to believe that they will. I think that can be the tough part about it.
So that's such a great question, because if I think of, like, when I get angry and I apologize for being angry, and I take accountability for how that anger may have impacted my child or my partner or whoever, my brother or whoever, and I say I'm going to try my very best, I'm going to do everything in my power to ensure that doesn't happen again. Yeah. I know I'm going to get angry again. Like, but it doesn't mean that my apology doesn't mean anything.
Yes.
So it's tricky. That's the thing with apologizing, is it's not cut and dry. Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking of Ndaba's at the end. It's probably going to make me toss and turn tonight.
Lee, you've got an exciting podcast out, The Elephant in the Room, it's called.
Yes. I did my first interview yesterday. Recording, so it'll be going to the editor today. We're going live on the 1st of June. And I was so excited. I converted the Self-Care Diaries YouTube channel to the Elephant in the Room. So there are some interviews, there are about 30 interviews that one can go and have a look at there. So the Elephant in the Room, Heart to Heart with Lee Joy, rests on 4 cornerstones or foundations: dating, relationships, self-mastery, and leadership. So please go have a look and subscribe, and also have a look at my website, where you fill in your email and I can keep you in the loop with all the amazing things that the team and I are up to.
Yeah. I suppose as a parting shot, what can one keep in mind when it comes to maintaining a healthy relationship and apologizing, right? Because we are always going to wrong each other. We'll step on each other's toes all the time. And sometimes we don't know how to go about apologizing in the best way possible. So leaving this conversation, I'm Khomotso and I know I'm going to wrong my husband at some point. What should I keep in mind when it comes to apologizing in a healthy relationship?
So the to be kind with yourself, to first accept the apology for yourself. Like, I apologize to me for what I did, stepping out of integrity within the situation, and not relying on the other person's acceptance of the apology to in that time in order for the repair to happen. So letting go of expectation, taking accountability, and feeling remorseful and looking to change behavior.
Oh, all right. That's Lee Joy there. Yeah, she's a relationship coach. And thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your insights. I'm looking forward to the podcast, The Elephant in the Room.
Thank you. It was so beautiful to be here with you today.
Someone's asking for your number, actually.
079 525 8991.
All right. Thank you for that, Lee Joy, a relationship coach.
Weekend Breakfast with Googs Mshungu.
702 Weekend Breakfast is about switching gears after what's usually a very busy week. We keep you informed, we keep you on trend, what's happening, what's new, what's delicious, what's fascinating, and keep you company as you rest at the end of the week. What I love most about the 702 family and 702 land is we're this interesting motley crew of people, this diverse group of people from all over the country, all over the world, and we all come together and it makes for this interesting, fascinating family. And I don't think you can find a more diverse, interested, a more engaged listenership than people who are part of the 702 family and 702 land. And so they listen to us to be their guide to the weekend because they trust Weekend Breakfast.
702 Weekend Breakfast with Googs Mshungu from 6 to 10 a.m.
It's been fantastic being with you this week. Hey, we're 4 minutes before the end of the show. And you know what? I'm going to, because I'm a nice person, and I care for you Pirates people, I'm going to sing for you. But before that, if your mechanic was becoming too expensive, you'd switch, right? So why pay more for car insurance? Switching to Outsurance saved 35-year-old Zanai a whopping $1,180 on her 2017 Mercedes-Benz GLA. Get a quote now. And if Outsurance can't save you money, ask for 500 Rand or 1,500 Rand if you've been claim free and with the same insurer for 3 years. Do it now. SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142. Licensed insurer and FSP. T's and C's and information online.
Yo, nothing humbles you like a cold shower.
Happens fast, eh? 1 minute you're living your best life.
Next minute you're questioning everything.
Fair. Here's a quick tip. If your geezer's acting up, don't wait for disaster. Small fixes now save big problems later.
And remember, if you buy cheap, you will shower in the lounge.
We've got loads more tips where that came from.
Quickot, #1 in water heating solutions. Quickot,
add warmth to life.
Looking for a stylish SUV that fits your life and your budget? Barron's are offering the Volkswagen T-Cross Life from just $4,990 per month. Packed with smart tech, bold design, and the versatility to take you anywhere, from weekday commutes to weekend escapes. And right now, it's never been more accessible. $4,990 per month? Yes, really. Available for a limited time at Barron's Woodmead and Barron's Broomer. Barron's, the Volkswagen people.
Coming up
on the Midday Report
with Mandy Wiener.
Mandy Wiener, the Paga Paga, is in studio in a little while, in a few hours. We'll know if you are the league champions or not.
You mean we will be?
Oh. Okay, you did this last week as well, and see where that got you. What's coming up on the show?
The Home Affairs Minister, Dr. Leon Schreiber, will speak to us. The rising problem of illegal immigration. He's given an outline in his budget speech about what the plan is to do about it. We'll speak about that. 11 drug lab suspects appearing in court today, including several Mexicans. We'll speak to the Cape Town mayor about a court judgment on fixed tariff structures and what this means for the residents of Cape Town. We are looking at a commemoration taking place on 30 years of the Constitution in South Africa. And it's a Friday. Let's see if you can do this.
Sports and good things too.
There we go. Well done. Of course, we'll talk about Sundowns. We'll speak about Pirates.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's the Midday Report with Mandy Wiener from 12 to 1 today. So I promise to sing for you ahead of your sporting weekend. sekusele kancane. It's for you, my Pirates people. You see, I like you. Kancane nizophumelela. What you should be singing, Mandy, is hayi sekusele kancane. That's your part. Okay, we'll try it next week. It's been a fantastic week with you. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Clement Manyathela Show. Clement is back on Tuesday, so I will be here on Monday. And I can tell you that if you do not win, Mapagapaga, I'll be here to remind you the entire 3 hours. But if you do win, we will be here rejoicing. I'm excited for you guys tomorrow. Of course, enjoy your weekend. Have a fantastic time. And if you're going to be resting, get some rest. If you're working, be safe wherever you are. But for now, it's 12 o'clock.
This is EWN.
Good afternoon. I'm Bali Dlamini. Acting Police Minister Feroz Kachalia is expected to release the fourth quarter crime statistics today. The stats will be covering crimes reported between January and March this year. Tabiso Koba reports.
The fourth quarter crime statistics cover the end of the festive season and the start of the new year. Last year, a total of 5,700